It's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California. The first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. It's Wednesday, my name's Bart Hansen. I'm here with Dave Tuckman, and we are kind of doing this new game, which is 2040 No Limit Hold'em. It's a $2,000 minimum buy, and it is an uncapped maximum. And I think it kind of makes the players a little more comfortable, Dave, because we use the same chips as the 10-20 game.
Yeah, it's a really huge game. Not much of a difference between 25-50, 20-40. Really plays big. You're seeing pre-flop raising of about, say, $180, $200. Re-raising up to $600. This game can really get big.
Well, you know, the players are actually at the table and the cards aren't in the air yet, so just wanted to go through a couple of things that, like I said, we were working on. We were talking about, we're going to be doing a video blog, and we're actually going to be kind of shooting that tomorrow. I don't know when it will be up on the website. And I'll give everybody a chance to email us their strategy questions. This might kind of be in lieu of the Inside Straight, because we kind of realized that here in the booth it might be a little bit easier. We'll use the card graphics, go over some hands that Dave and I might have had throughout the week and just put them up.
Yeah, I mean, we're still going to do the Inside Straight. I was talking to Evelyn about it. We're still going to do that in some sort of form because we want to get some of the other poker players' opinions. Yeah. You know, we have a lot of professional poker players that play here. Jonas, Corporation Mike, Jason Cacciatani, among many. And it'd be nice to get inside somebody else's head once in a while.
Yeah, sometimes people don't realize in the booth here we actually have two headsets. So sometimes when somebody comes in for an interview, one of us goes out. So if you want other people's views, that it has to kind of be done out at the table. And I'm not exactly sure if that video blog is going to be something that is just for archive subscribers, or if it's just going to go up on the website.
But obviously, we're adding to our website. Keep checking it out, live at thebike.com.
Yeah.
And we've got all sorts of things up there.
Well, let's head over to the table here.
Yeah,
scramble it up, and let's get into the introductions of the players that are here.
Well,
as always, Dave, poker players, they're never on time.
No, of course not, especially in L.A.
Yeah.
Well, first, I want to congratulate anybody knows our big dealer, Brian, that big guy, you know, he's a mountain of a man, and he hasn't been here, wasn't here yesterday, probably won't be here today or tomorrow, because his wife gave birth to a healthy 9-pound baby girl.
Oh, that's awesome.
I want to congratulate Brian Short for that.
Of course, we see Brian. He's one of the best dealers in the casino, and he often does it. He's, like you said, he's the big guy.
Yeah.
And he plays a lot of no-limit cash games himself, Dave. It's interesting. He'll go out and play the 3 to 5. I think I actually saw him in a 500 game. Well, we're going to start off the table. Here we go. Let's introduce the players that are here right now.
No, I mean, really no introduction even needed for these guys. We've got Barry Woods in seat number 2. We've got Hobb in seat number 3. That's Midnight. Seat number 5 is Kenny Wynn. Seat number 6 is empty right now, but the chips are there, and that's Corporation Mike. Mo is eating his watermelon in seat number 8, and Alan is in seat number 9.
And this game's been locked up. Like there's a board like 15 people deep.
We actually had 2 games going, but Mo is holding off because Corporation Mike is in the building. There's another guy that's in the building. They just haven't gotten to the table yet. So the players are here, like you said. We actually have 16 or 17 players that all want to play this game, including myself.
Yeah, Mo is calling for Donna to go to the table.
I mean, I really wanted to play in this game myself.
Yeah.
I was looking at it, and I was going, man, come on, Mo, put me in the list. And he goes, I got a full board already. I looked at the lineup. I know Jason Cacciatani is on his way. Corporation Mike is here. Jonas is on his way.
It's a very difficult balance sometimes for Mo as the host of this game because people will call him days in advance. And I think what he does is he needs to actually, and what he started doing, and it's a great idea, is if you're not here at 6:30, yeah, we'll reserve your seat, but that's it. It's over.
Well, a lot of these players are actually here. I mean, I've actually seen a couple of them, and they're just not in the game right now.
So we're going to play it a little bit short here. Hobb is in the big blind. He's got pocket jacks in the big blind. Well, I mean,
and they're going to chop it up here. I'm surprised they're chopping it up.
The actual rake, is this a collection game?
No, this is a collection pot game.
This is a collection pot game? Because I don't see the collection pot on the table.
This is what? Yes.
It is a collection game.
It is, okay. They'll get that over there. Now, once again, we here at Live at the Bike, because it's cash games, it's not a tournament, these players can get up and leave when they want to. They can sit down when they want to.
Right.
If they lose, they can rebuy. But you got to realize that our show is sometimes, and most of the often, at the whim of these players.
Yes, absolutely.
Without these players, we don't have a show. Now, obviously, there are a lot of players that are interested in playing on the show.
And Barry Woods is going to get folded around here again, and they're going to chop it up. I don't know why they're chopping it up 5-handed.
Yeah, I'm really surprised, too.
I think that's what everybody's waiting for people to come.
Yeah, that looks like
I don't want to go bust with
Butt moves over here to seat.
Yeah, they're kind of like waiting out here until the players come, and that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to wait now. I think they're just going to wait until Corporation Mike shows up. So why don't we talk about something else?
Okay.
What would you like to talk about? Anything in
Well,
particular?
again, we were talking about, kind of what we were going to do on the show. I actually listened to the Circuit interview with Gabe Thaler last night. And again, you can head over to thecircuit.com, check out the interview that David and I did. And that is definitely one to listen to, because that guy, he is a cash game specialist, Dave. I mean, he's starting to get into tournaments. And much like some of these high-level cash game specialists, they really only selectively play in tournaments, high buy-in tournaments, $10,000 tournaments.
Well, he actually told me a long time ago. I remember talking to him about this. So I remember I was actually at the other casino, and I was going to play in like a $300 event, and I was going upstairs to play in it. And I had left the 10-20 pot limit game, and I go, oh, are you going to play the tournament? He goes, no, I don't play any of those tournaments where it's just move in.
Yeah.
He goes, I want to be able to play poker. I want to get some chips.
Right. You know, the Bellagio WPT Championship tournament, $25,000 tournament, I mean, I think he said they start you with 50,000 in chips with 100, 200 blinds.
Yeah.
I mean, that is real. And he was talking about, it almost plays like a cash game for the first day and a half.
Yeah.
It's real poker.
It really does. Yeah.
You can be making calls with a lot of the mid-suited connectors that you might be able to do in a cash game. Whereas if you're only 20, 30 times in a tournament, you really can't be making those calls. And he also went out and said, too, and it's true, Ace-Jack, 2 paint cards in a tournament is a monster hand. And quote-unquote, Ace-Jack, the only thing that's going to do in a cash game for you is get you broke. And we say it all the time here on the show.
Does. Ace-Jack, we see it. Ace-Jack is really no better than Ace-Rag. I mean, obviously it's better than Ace-Rag, but only marginally. Against a good player, if you're getting any heat with a hand like Ace-Jack, you know, you're either going to win a small pot or lose a big one, and more often than not, you'll lose a big one. Well, we're going to start up again here, and Alex actually is joined us in seat number 1.
And that's
and Alan has actually joined us in seat number 4. That's Dr. Allen.
Dr. Allen in seat 4. Again, 20, 40, no limit. Brown chips are $10 chips. Whites are hundreds.
And we're going to see this 2 ways here between Mo and Alex.
Heads up here, ace 9-3 with a couple of hearts. No one has a heart, no one has a pair. And again, word that Corporation Mike, as Alex bets there and takes down, is coming in. There he is. And that's what everyone kind of was waiting for, I think. As always, we like to keep this show interactive. You can email us at live@thebike.com. You can also follow a live thread that is started on the internet by going to 2plus2.com. Spelled out, click on forums, World Poker Tour, etc. Official Live at the Bike thread for May 24th. All right, we're going to go around the table real quick and introduce all the players.
Okay, let's do it again. Yeah, why not? Yeah. Seat number 1, we've got Alex. Alex is a pretty solid player, 95% of the time. Like a lot of the young, good Asian young cash players, he tends to go on tilt once in a while.
Yeah.
Hopefully for his sake he won't tonight. We've got Barry Woods in seat number 2. Barry, do not call me Greenstein Woods. Seat number 3, we've got Hav. That's midnight. Seat number 4 is Dr. Allen. Now, Dr. Allen's a pretty good player, and he's one of those guys that can really push it when he thinks that when he thinks his opponent's weak. He knows how to push a draw strong. Seat number 5, we've got Kenny Wynn. He's very well-respected local pro. Seat number 6 is empty right now. Seat number 7 is going to be Corporation Mike. There he is. Seat number 8 is Mo.
Yep.
It's our no-limit host here. And seat number 9, that's Alan. No introduction needed there. Let's get right into the action.
Now, Mike is going to lead out here on this flop. We can't see what he has in seat 7, and he's on an electronic device. He bets out with 10 deuce here. He's got middle pair. And it looks like it's the best hand. Now, Allen's got pocket eights on that flop, ace 10-5, and Allen calls with pocket eights.
Yeah, and that's always the problem with Allen's hand in the game, in the sense that he raises it up. I mean, he just calls there with hands that just...
Now, look at this, though. Mike, he checked it, and
Wow.
Allen bet,
I'm
and Mike
surprised.
folded. Mike maybe put him on an ace there.
Well, more often than not, Mike will actually follow through and bet again, and then Allen will get pushed off that hand. And with a hand like pocket eights, I mean, you're not going to improve generally.
Yeah.
So you either got the best hand or you don't.
Yeah, we'll get those cards up here now. So, Button moves over here to Mike in seat 7.
David.
So Mike is going to be driving the action of this table.
Yeah,
Now,
Mike has been running insanely hot last
so we
week.
got a player coming into seat 6 here. And I'm not sure who that is. Looks like it's a new player. His name is Mo. Another Mo. Great. Maybe we can get a last name or something
Yeah.
to differentiate.
Let's
Well,
get his real name.
Mo is posted, it looks like, from behind here. Gets folded around to Mike.
You know, it's funny, he
Come on, Mike,
posted.
put the cards in the window, buddy.
He actually posted and he threw his hand away. I'm not sure if he knew
Bro, you know what, man?
he owes $40
You're
to the
not
pot.
special, dude. You gotta put your cards in the window.
He's raised it with deuce 4 of diamonds.
Mike is not special.
And Allen is called with 6-7 offsuit.
Thinks Mike is not special.
So we're heads up. Deuce 4 of diamonds against 6-7. And Allen has flopped an open-ended straight draw here. Mo is not in the hand in seat 8, and Mike is going to bet. He's going to continuation bet here with deuce 4.
Allen actually has a double gutter. Same difference, though.
You're right.
Yeah.
He's got a double gutter to
9 or
5 over
5.
9. Turn is a 7. He picks up a pair now, and he's way in front of Mike.
Yeah, Mike needs a 4 or a deuce, and that's it.
Checked around. The river's a 5, and Allen has made what is the nut straight here. Well, not quite, but he does have a straight with a 6. And he's going to bet 300 here.
Well, I guess as far as it's concerned, in this hand, it's the nut straight. And is Mike going to make a play?
Is Mike going to raise here? That's the question. And he is going to raise. He's going to raise it up to
500 more.
500 more. And obviously, I think Allen is going to at least call here. He's got the straight. Mike is just making a play. I think probably thinks the pair of 4s is no good.
Pot is about, I'd say, $1,300. And Allen's going to call here, and he's going to take down what is about a $1,900 pot.
And Mike knows Mike knows he's no good once Allen calls.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Allen makes some strange calls, but I don't think he's calling him with less than a pair of 4s.
Allen takes it down there. Okay. We'll call seat 6 Mo X.
How about Mox? Mo-X, M-O-X, Mox.
Yeah. Fun's going to move over here.
How does that
to
work
Mo
for
in
you?
seat 7. You know, a couple people asked me, Dave, do we know what happened last night? Did Mike break Dudley through?
He did. Dudley eventually went broke.
Did he?
Actually, it was funny. Dudley and Mo, and one of the oddest things I've ever seen in my life, Dudley started getting really angry and started getting a little bit belligerent. And Mo sat down, and right away, Mo didn't like something that Dudley did, because Dudley was...
Mo, the host of the game.
Dudley had the nuts
Yeah.
against Mike, and Dudley started raking in the chips before he showed him the cards.
Really?
And Mo got really upset at him. He goes, hey, wait a second, it could be a chop, it could be
Yeah.
a chop. And Mo actually called the floorman over,
Yeah.
and that was the last of Dudley. So Dudley actually left with about $600 or $700.
Well, Alex and Allen are in this hand here in the blinds. 8-7-3, limped around. Now, Allen's got a flush draw here. Goes check, check. Now he's got a pair and a flush draw. And now he's going to lead out here.
Good 90.
He bets 90. And Allen takes it down. You know, I wonder if you're thinking the same thing I am. Sometimes if Allen checks me on that flop with Queen 9, it's almost an automatic bet. Because it is a little bit easy, you know, if Allen doesn't have anything to fold. Although if you bet and he calls you, you don't really know if he's calling you with a 3, a 7, an 8, a straight draw, or a flush draw.
Yeah,
right?
it really is tough with Allen.
Yeah.
You never know what he has. But that's the whole thing with Allen. Generally speaking, to make money off a player like Allen, you're not going to be bluffing him, but you're going to be betting for value against him almost every time.
Button moves over here to Allen in seat 9. And Hobb is going to limp in here under the gun with King Queen suited in seat 3. Just a limp. Again, 20-40. So 40 to call, 4 brown chips. Kenny Wynn's going to limp in with Queen Jack offsuit. Allen's going to limp in on the button with 3-4 offsuit. We're going to see this 4 ways. It's a $160 pot limped around here. Barry Woods is also in the blind.
And you can see how how much bigger this game plays right away. You get a post-flop bet of, say, 160. Then suddenly the raise is almost 500. You get a $1,000 pop before you even think about it.
9-3 deuce on the flop, couple clubs. Allen's got the best hand with a pair of threes. It gets checked around. Turn is in 9. Now Hobbs picked up heart, and he's got overcards.
Would you bet this if you're Allen here?
You mean on the flop?
No. Well, I might bet on a flop, obviously, because I'm on the
Right.
button. But now, at this point, I mean, do you really put Hobb on a 9? I mean, he could. Obviously, he was up front. He could have 9, no kicker. But he limped in first position.
And usually Hobb is a tight enough player where he's not going to play something like 7-9, 8-9, even if
I just don't buy it in first position. I don't buy it at all.
Hobb bets there and takes it down with the semi-bluff.
I mean, the most likely hand for Hobb there is more like pocket 6s. You know, and he might actually have you beat. Tough for Allen, obviously, to represent anything because he checked on the button.
Yeah. Interesting post here by KevMath on 2+2. He says, speaking of wins, whatever happened to Joe Wynn? Did he finally lose all his money? Joe Wynn, we sometimes like to call him Joe Lose to differentiate him from the other Joe Wynn. Haven't seen him around, Dave. I don't think he even works here anymore, does he?
I don't know.
I don't know.
A lot of people that do not work here anymore that used to work here. Joe Wynn, the way he plays, I don't know how he could possibly keep. I mean, he kept his job a lot longer than I thought he could. He's one of those props that you just don't understand how he even lasts because of the way he plays.
Limped around here 4 ways.
He had a huge bankroll, though. I think he had a couple of backers. You know, some big, some.
He said he won like a big jackpot at another casino as well.
He might have, and he might have had some big Asian backer or something because it just seemed like he was always bleeding money, yet was still here all the time.
Limped around Queen 7 deuce with a couple clubs on board, and Barry's going to come out and he's going to bet 120 with second pair. That's going to get Hobb out of there. Now Hobb was in the blind with 7-8 offsuit, as is Barry.
This is the part of Barry's game that I like. The fact that he will bet here second pair. He also would bet a set of queens here.
Yep. Although he most likely would have raised with the pocket queens out of the small blind.
Probably, exactly. But he would bet 2 pair here out of the blind. He'd
Yeah.
bet Queen 7 or Queen Deuce. Once again, we're live at the bike. Got our big Wednesday night whale game, 20-40 blinds, $2,000 unrestricted buying game. This game can play huge, and it will. A lot of action players at the game. If you want to email us, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Email us with your questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, anything you might want to say. We really do appreciate it. Try to keep the show kind of like almost like a sports talk radio show.
Allen's going to limp. Alex is going to limp.
And you see Allen limping with a hand that you and I really, I mean, I would never be limping in with a hand like this, Ace-7 offsuit. I just don't see, I don't see it has any value at all.
And I got to tell you, a limp there by Allen, and then I've got Queen-Jack clubs from Alex in the cutoff. I usually raise there at least 75% of the time. He chooses just to limp in the cutoff. King-Jack 6 with a couple of diamonds.
And I'm not sure, but if he raises, I don't think Barry's going to call him at the King-10.
And if it gets checked over to Barry, and I might fire on that flop, King-Jack 6 in that spot as well.
Yeah, it's surprising. Tough to put Barry on a king. You figure if Barry had any kind of good king, he'd probably raise in the button. So at best, he's probably got a weak king or maybe a jack.
And now Alex is kind of in the dark here. I mean, Barry bets the button and Alex calls. The turn is a 4, and Barry continues to have the best hand. Alex checks.
And this is really the wrong way to play a hand like Queen Jack. You've got to be the aggressor if you're going to play a hand like this.
Barry bets again.
You have no idea where you're at here. Does Barry have a king? Does he have Queen 10? Does he have diamonds? Who knows?
And this probably, I got to tell you, would you ever bet for value if a non-diamond comes? Well, it's a diamond here on the river. Now, can Alex represent? No, now it's going to probably go check here, I'd imagine.
I think that's what he's putting Barry on, is diamonds.
Well, Barry's going to bet here again. And can you get I mean, I was wondering if a blank came on the river, could you get called by a jack? But he calls him anyways with the third diamond. And Barry's going to get a little value bet there with the king.
I mean, and we're talking about on what seemingly is a nothing hand. It's a $2,200 pot.
That's why I think if you play that hand, okay, he limps, but you've got to get information. Check calling is just never really the right way to play.
We always say it. We say one mistake begets another mistake. Alex made mistake after mistake after mistake. First of all, he limped in.
Yeah.
Now, some people can argue, well, limping is not terrible, but I like in a cutoff seat, why not raise there, buy yourself the button? Okay, fine, so you didn't limp in. Well, now you hit a pair, and you have second pair, and you're one off the button, and you check it. And then you just check call the entire way. I got to tell you, on the river, what can you beat?
Well, I think that, the bet on the river might have actually got Alex to call because he figured that Barry wouldn't just bet a king on the river. So he either got a flush or he was just bluffing the whole way. It was
Okay,
peculiar.
okay. I mean, but what can you beat on the river, though? Just a complete total bluff, I guess? Or queen 10? A straight draw, you mean? Open-ended straight draw, maybe? I mean, I'm just trying to think of what you can beat.
Limped around here, 5-way action, which means it's a $200 pot. Queen 3-3 here. Now Mo in seat 8's got a king queen.
Uh-oh, and unfortunately for Mo, the
Oh, look at this. Mike leads out with the 3, and Mo moves all in. Over the top of him, and I've never seen Mike muck trip 3s. And in Mo's position, I don't put him on a 3 here at all.
We know Mo. Mo doesn't have a 3 here. There's no way Mo's got a 3.
Mike leads out with the 3. Mo moves all in.
And look how quickly Kenny throws away his king deuce here. It's so easy. A diamond draw.
And Mike is going to call. Boy, that is a risky move from Mo. What if someone out back had a 3, Dave? He's exposing his whole stack.
I love the guy. I don't understand the play.
I don't understand this at all.
Best 10.
They're talking about running it more than once. Mo's going to need to catch a queen or running kings here.
I mean, and you talk about Mike getting action, the metagame that Mike does. Mike drives the players at the table crazy. And what's so funny is Mike makes so many negative EV plays, but he sets up plays like this. Not in a million years, if you bet 150 on this flop, is Mo going to move all in on you?
Turns to king, he's got more outs. He's going to run it twice here, Dave. Well, Mike wins the first one, and this is for the second half of the pot. Mo needs a queen and a queen only here, and Mike's going to win it all.
And that's a huge pot. I mean, Mo had...
It was for $1,900 more. It's over $4,000 pot there.
I mean, how easy was that, huh?
I don't understand it, because, I mean, what if someone else had a 3?
How easy is that?
Yeah.
And the thing is, the one thing I'll say about Mo, I don't think he makes that move with a 3. If he makes that move with a 3 also, I have no problem with it. You know what I mean? If you see Mo moving, but we've seen so many times, though, Mo kind of slow plays the 3.
Yeah.
He soft plays it a little bit.
Very dangerous if he bets out with his big hands. Button moves over here to seat 6. And Dr. Allen's got an ace-queen and diamonds here on the button. Mike is going to straddle, so it's going to be 80 to call. And Dr. Allen played he's played a pretty good game here the last couple times he's played on the show.
I really like Dr. Allen's game. Until he proves me wrong, I'm going to say that he's a pretty solid player.
Now look at this. Hob is going to raise it here in the cutoff. He's got Jack 10 of hearts. He's going to make it 380 here, Dave. Well, there's dead money in there, and it is a straddled pot.
Well, I mean, the dead money, you figure $80, $40. There's $130 dead. So if you call the 130, the pot's then 260. He's pretty much raising the pot.
Now, this is a much different dilemma for Dr. Allen. He's got ace-queen of diamonds. If Hob comes for an under-the-gun race, even if it's suited, I don't even necessarily mind not getting involved. I think that's a really tight laydown with Hob raising in the cutoff, though.
Yeah, it's a tough spot, though. You know, I mean, people can pick up hands in the cutoff seat, too, and it's Hob.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I mean, I'd probably lay down ace-queen of diamonds there also.
Really?
Yeah, against Hob. I just don't know. I mean, am I prepared to re-raise him?
He is also not going to really give you any action if you make a hand. I mean, the only thing that...
You have to re-raise it. You can't just call, can you? What do you want to hit if you call him?
I mean, you might be able to... I mean, sometimes I make the contention with Hob. I might call there, and I think I actually might get Hob off of a hand, because I think sometimes he tends to play it a little bit conservatively post-flop. You don't agree with me?
I think Hob's a real solid player. I mean, I think he's really solid. I don't think he plays it conservative at all. I mean, I think he knows when to push the ball. I like his game a lot.
I do too. I'm just saying it's something to throw out at in that spot.
I don't know. I mean, I think smooth calling with ace-queen there is real dangerous, because you know Hob's going to probably follow through with a bet. I mean, maybe not, but you imagine he probably would, and I just don't know what I'm rooting for. Am I rooting for an ace? Am I rooting for a queen? Obviously, diamonds are good, but...
Kenny Wynn's picked up pocket aces here on the button, Dave. And after a few limpers, he is going to make it 260 to go. Kenny Wynn, one of the tightest. He's on this lineup. He's probably the tightest player. We don't know who seat 6, how he plays. Allen's going to fold there, king 10 of diamonds. Now Barry's got king jack of hearts out of position here, Dave, against Kenny Wynn's button raise.
It's an easy laydown, and I talked to Barry just before the show, and I was even telling him, I said the one player at this table you don't want to get involved with is Kenny Wynn.
Yeah.
I go, he's the one guy, don't give action to it. It's a nice laydown.
He shows the aces there.
Oh, I was close. I was close to you.
There you go. Now back to that ace-queen hand. Obviously, there's a million. The one thing great about poker, you and I debate hands all the time. That's what makes us both better players in the end.
Oh, okay, great.
It's always good to have a friend or kind of a crew that you can talk to and kind of, banter about some hands and strategy. I really think the only way to play that hand is to raise with the ace-queen of diamonds. Represent a big hand.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
I think you've got to make it...
With the stack sizes like that, I mean, it is suited. And I know that's not a huge thing, but I think that you might be able to call in position there if you're both deep. And you almost play it like you almost play it like a couple, like a gap-suited connector, but it's also a premium hand, Dave.
Yeah, just such an easily dominated hand. It's one of those things where if I hit my ace and he bets into me, what do I do? Without pot committing myself.
Well, if you're deep, though, I think you can call one time and see what happens on the turn.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be super deep in this game.
I think it's a pretty tight laydown. Now, Allen here, he's got ace-queen. He limped in from up front, and he's going to bet out here. Now, this was a limped pot. Now, Barry has got a flush draw in seat 2, but he is not in the hand. So that does not matter.
By the way, this might be a first ever in the history of Live at the Bike where I'm actually an advocate for folding the hand, and you're saying you should call.
I just think it's a really tight laydown
Yeah, I know.
spot.
9 out of 10 times, anybody that's familiar with Live at the Bike usually notices that I'm probably the more aggressive of the two of us in the sense that I'm usually like, oh, why not? Bet into it. Take a chance.
I always thought you were the one wearing the panties in the booth, though.
Yeah, whatever. I am wearing panties, but that has nothing to do with anything else. I actually wear a thong.
Again, you can email us at Live at the Bike here.
Backwards.
Got an email first of the night here from Steve Carothers. He says, hey, I enjoyed the show.
Phoenix up by 3, bro.
Email here from Maurice saying, I usually win money at poker. However, I like to play blackjack too. Luckily, I don't bet on sports or the ponies. How do you keep from blowing your bankroll at other games?
I'm going to tell you something. You know what you
Pit
can do?
leaks. You know that term, pit leaks? That's a real thing in high-level poker.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
You know what I can tell you to do, Maurice? If you just like playing blackjack or you like playing craps or anything else, you can kind of designate a little bit of your bankroll for that. But then designate money that you can't play with. It's like fun money, okay? So let's say your bankroll is $20,000, just for example. Take 5% of it and go, okay, that is my fun money. But if you lose that 5%, you can't get more until you build your bankroll back up to $20,000 again.
Dr. Allen is raised here with pocket nines. Mike's called with the king 3 of spades, and Allen is there with queen 7. Well, it's not a bad flop for nines here. Jack 4 deuce with a couple clubs. Allen's going to bet 220 here. Dr. Allen, he's going to take it down. Now, a hand like queen 7 there, if Allen, the flop comes. Queen 4 deuce. And say Dr. Allen's got aces, kings, or ace queen. Does Allen just check call the whole way? I mean, it's a big way to bleed off chips there, right?
Well, it's funny. As Allen's moved up and plays a little bit of a bigger game, he's definitely played it a little more conservative. I've noticed that he actually will get away from top pair, in some cases rather easily. Somebody on the 2+2 board is wondering why Mo would tap on the glass against Dudley last night. And you got to realize there comes a point where the money is not worth, say, a possible fight breaking out. Somebody breaking a bottle, somebody pulling out a gun. I mean, you got to be smart about it. Okay?
Dr. Allen is going to bring this one in for kind of a smallish raise in this game. Remember, it's 20-40. He makes it 130 to go with pocket jacks. Now, Kenny Wynn is going to call here. Mo X is going to re-raise with ace queen. He thinks it's a small raise, Dave, and it is for a cash game here. And this is, in essence, making it 30 to go in the game that we did last night, the 5-10 game. Now, Dr. Allen is going to call. And this kind of squashes Kenny in between. I don't know if he's got enough money to make this call to hit a set, but he calls.
Well, he's actually, what does he have, about, I want to say about $2,500?
Yeah, it's close. So it's about a $1,000 pot to the flop, and look at this top 2 from OX. All spades.
He's got to be careful, though. I mean, there's a good chance Dr. Allen's got a spade in his hand. Maybe Dr. Allen's got ace-king, ace-jack with the spade, or pocket kings or pocket jacks. I mean, there are a lot of hands you can lose to here if you slow play it.
Again, it's a $1,000 pot here.
Yeah, kings are probably not a likelihood. You imagine that Dr. Allen probably would have re-raised with kings.
I think the action is on Mo X here. He's trying to decide how much to bet out of seat 6.
I got to tell you, when Dr. Allen raises, though, and Kenny calls, and then you re-raise and they both call you, you've got to put them on pretty significant hands. They're not in there with like 5-6.
But, I mean, with this flop, I mean, I think you almost 100% know that you have the best hand here.
Yeah, definitely. You just can't slow play it.
And he bets $750 into about $1,000 pot. A little under $1,000 pot.
He's got a lot of money. Look how much money he's got in front of him.
Well, Dr. Allen has the second nut flush draw in this hand here, Dave.
Mo X is bought in for $16,000, by the way.
Wow, well, we'll get a chip count up here at some point with the starting chips and what they're up and down.
Is he thinking of making a move here? Well, if he makes a move, as long as Mo
Did he
X
check raise all in? He's going to move all in here.
And as long as, well, he's not in as bad shape as we'd think. Right now, he's got a lot of outs. He has 2 jacks, or any spade will give him the win here. He's got 11 outs, and you can see he's only a 3-2 dog.
And it's $1,700 all in, and that's going to give Mo X at least 2-1. I think he's going to definitely call here with ace-queen.
Now, I'm just to play devil's advocate here. Obviously, if he knew he had ace-queen, he probably wouldn't make this move. But let's say you put him on ace-king, and he doesn't have, let's say he has ace-king of hearts, okay? It's a real tough call. Because remember, this guy is raised, and now called you raised. Very easy for him to have queens. Very easy. Also very easy for him to have ace-queen.
Well, the problem, though, too, is that he can also have aces or queens that he's not going to lay down.
Yeah. Dr. Allen might also be putting him on kings, thinking, you know what, this guy re-raised me.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a big pocket pair, and as long as he doesn't have aces or queens, if he's got kings, maybe I can get him off it.
This is going to be about a $5,000 pot here. And are they going to run it more than once? As you can see, Dr. Allen's only about 60-40 here.
Yeah, 3-2 favorite, that's it. Any jack, any spade.
Well, here we go. Turns a spade, and Allen's going to take this one. I don't know how many times they're going to run it.
Redraw.
River is a king.
Could have filled up, obviously, with an ace or queen.
And look at this, the turn's a jack.
Yep.
And the river's a jack, and Allen makes quads, and they're going to run it one more time, and he can only catch a spade now. All the jacks are gone. Turns a 6, river's a 4. And Dr. Allen is going to win 2/3 of that whole pot. He won it twice out of 3 times. Mo X wins it 1 time.
And oftentimes it looks like a big suck out, but he correctly figured, you know what? At worst, I probably have 11 outs to the win, and he was right.
Well, the only thing that he is really screwed by is if the guy has ace-king with the king of spades. That's the hand where he is almost dead.
Then he's dead, exactly. That's where that is by far the worst hand he could have. You'd almost rather the guy have 2 red aces than ace-king with the king spades.
Right.
Yeah, you make, how much you have? 1,700 divided by 3 is going to be 600.
And a quick way to do this, Dave, is that they actually, if you ever see this at a casino, you actually split the main pot into thirds because they ran it 3 times. And then the guy who won 2/3 gets 1/3 of the remaining stack of his opponent, up to what he has in front of him.
Exactly.
So Dr. Allen had 1,700 more. The guy called. So he will win 2/3 of what's in the pot now, and then he will win 1/3 of 1,700 from the other guy.
Exactly.
And that's how you do it.
To do the math quickly, seat number 6, Mox, is going to give him about $600 out of his own pot.
Yeah.
Plus.
And then so you see Bin is going to push 2 of the 1/3 stacks. And then Mo X is going to give Dr. Allen about $600. Here.
I love the logic of some players when they go, I don't know why you did it 3 times. You should have just done it twice.
Right.
Like you know what's going to come.
Yeah.
And if there's anything that happens on the show or anything that Bart or I say on the show that you're not familiar with, check out our website. You can go on the left-hand side of www.liveatthebike.com. Left-hand side, there's an as seen on Live at the Bike. And all the terminology is there. We have, reverse implied odds, running the river more than once, what's a straddle. Now, this is a collection pot. And I believe the players are paying $10 for every half hour.
I think it's 13, isn't it?
Is it 13 for this game?
I'm not sure.
I'll have to get a double check on that.
I think it's the same as the 2550.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Pocket
It's $11. Okay.
Pocket queens here for Mo. And look at this. Mike's got a raising. He's got king jack suited in seat 7. And he's going to raise.
And whoever wins this pot will pay the collection for the entire table.
And how do you play this? And Mo's going to re-raise it.
Oh, immediately. You have to re-raise the way Mo plays against Mike.
He's going to make it 800 here. 700 or so to go. And Mo he's kind of short here. I mean, the thing here is that Mike really shouldn't call here because Mo is so short, Dave.
The thing with Mike's game, though, is he has to call. Mike has to call he has to make these calls. Otherwise, people will, if he lays this down, people know they can raise him and he'll lay down. What makes him powerful is the fact that he always makes these calls. And it kind of paralyzes players because they never want to make a move on him unless they have a real hand.
kind of that meta game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Mike makes a negative EV play here. Yeah, he knows it's not worth calling. He's smart about that. But he makes a negative EV play here, and later on, it pays off.
He knows that Mo is short here.
Yeah, he knows it's not worth it.
And now Mo is goading him.
Yeah. Well, once Mike thinks about it this much, I think Mo wants to call.
And Mike calls.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's part of just Mike. I mean, yes, it's a bad call. Mike knows it's a bad call.
And here we go, $1,500 pre-flop.
And there you
go.
go.
There's the king. And let's see it. And did Mike move in from up front? I'm a little surprised, Dave. We talk about how you might check raise there because you know.
That's Mike now.
And look at this, though. Mo's going to call him with queens.
Yep.
Oh, my.
Love
Gets
the
the
play.
call. It turns a king. Mo needs a queen only, and the river's a 10. And he's felted Mo again.
Yeah.
Oh, he moved all in from up front. Wow.
Yeah, the best way for Mike to make money there, Mike's kind of the opposite of everything. You've got to realize, and we know it, we've seen it all the time, if Mike starts laying those hands down, well, then people can start making moves on him.
Yeah.
It's like Doyle Brunson saying, he goes, I will often take the worst of it because I have to let my opponents know they can't take shots at me.
Well, the funny thing there, too, is that for some reason, if it goes check, check, all the money's going in on the turn with the king pairs as well. I mean, there's no way Mo's going to get away from queens with 2 kings on board.
Well, and the thing is that Mike would make that play with nothing.
Yeah.
Okay? And Mike always, he plays it a little bit unpredictable. And one day he'll check raise that. One day he'll bet it. And it kind of puts Mo in a tough spot where he goes, he almost sits there and goes, well, wouldn't he check raise if he had a king?
Yeah.
Why would he bet it if he had a king?
Email here from the Potter, Thomas Farrer, talking about why did you run the cards more than once. Again, you can look at liveatthebike.com, go over as seen on Live at the Bike. It gives a description. And we get a little raise here. It's actually limped around. 7 ways, Dave. King, Jack, 10 with a couple of spades here.
Heck of a flop if anybody had ace queen.
Now, Mo and Alex both have king 9. They both have top pair with a straight draw. And Mo's going to come out. He's going to bet 200 here. 360.
Has he bought in short here?
No, he's playing 2,000 behind.
And he's quickly, what is he down? $5,000
Yeah, we'll
right
get
away?
a chip count at some point here.
It's funny, every time we get a chip count, a big
Yeah.
hand happens, and we can change it up.
You're behind 2 Mo?
He's 2,000 behind.
Obviously a challenge for our assistant
Yeah.
out there, Donna, constantly trying to update the chips. Is Moex going to get involved here? He's got a spade draw.
Well, Alex is called,
I thought you were all in.
and Moex, he's got a straight draw. He's got the same straight draw with a flush draw. So but the thing about these straight draws, if the queen comes off, anyone with an ace would have a straight.
Yeah, the straight draw is worthless. It's really a question, though, is Alex thought Mo was all in. That's interesting.
Oh, really?
Really interesting.
Alex thought Mo was all in, and he called, but he didn't know.
Probably would not have called if he didn't
Yeah.
think that. And now he's in a spot where he goes, oh, shoot. And you got to really make sure you're paying attention at these tables.
$1,400 pot. The turn's a 6, and Alex and Mo still have the best hand here. And he's going to bet 500. And this really puts King 9 in a tough spot here, Dave.
And the one thing I'm wondering is,
And Alex calls.
wow, how do you call that, man?
You got to almost think that Alex has King Queen here or something. My
Maybe he
goodness.
thinks Mo is on. You think maybe Mo is tilting or something? And Mo is now almost pot committed to this hand.
This pot is now $2,400, and I think Mo X is going to get away from the spade draw with the straight draw.
Yeah, he's got to throw that away now.
And let's see, this is going to be interesting to see here what Mo does.
And I like one of the reasons I like that spade laydown is you're not sure if Alex has a spade draw or if Mo is betting a spade draw.
And the river is an 8 here. And the pot is $2,400. And it just goes check, check here.
Okay.
Now, the other thing that Alex might be representing by just smooth calling there is the nut spade draw. And if a queen came, that actually is a scary card from Mo, isn't it?
Of course it is.
Someone calling with the nut spades.
Of course. I can tell you, there's no card that can come off there that Mo likes.
All right, first chip count of the night here. Well, Mo X has got $15,400. He's got the most. We've got almost $50,000 here on the table. Luckily for our chip count people, that pot was split, so it didn't change.
Right.
Let's take a look at the differences. Mike is already up 3,600. Dr. Allen is up 1,300. Barry up 1,000. Mo is already down 4,000.
Wow. I thought he was down more than that. I thought his first buy-in was actually 3,000, but I guess it was minimum buy-in both times. Lucky for him.
Yeah. Got a post here by, I saw kind of a funny post on 2+2, and I lost it here, but it said something like, is there enough action in LA to be a poker pro? That's basically what the question was.
Is that a joke?
I don't know.
I'll put it this way. If there's not enough action in LA to be a poker pro, then there's not enough action anywhere to be a poker pro. LA is the poker capital of the world. We have more poker tables in LA. In Southern California, we have more poker tables than probably the entire world combined.
And Mo here is going to raise it up out of, he made it 160 to go. And a couple of people call here, Mo and Mike. And there's the ace. Mike calls with ace rag suited and he spikes the ace. Unbelievable. Mo X is going to check it from up front. It's about a $500 pot, and Mike is going to bet.
And just fearless. I mean, look at it. Ace-6 of spades. I mean, this is a hand that's not the flop you're looking for.
Is Mo going to make a move? You know, Mike bet, and Mo is going to raise. Oh, my. Mike's got Mo again.
Well, let's see if Mike commits himself here, though.
Looks like Mo is raised here to... It was a $380 bet, and I believe Mo made it 500 more.
Obviously an easy laydown for Mo X there with 10s.
580 more, and Mike calls, and this pot is quickly $2,000.
And there's no draw whatsoever. How do you not put Mike on an ace here? You have to put him on an ace.
Well, now that he calls, it's a $2,000 pot that turns a 7. And it goes check, check. And the river's a 6. And now Mike's made aces up, and he bets and Mo quickly folds. Wow.
And this has just not been, first 30 minutes of this show have really been not very good for Mo.
Yep. Unbelievable stuff, Dave.
Wow. Yeah, it really is unbelievable. Button moves over to seat number 3. That's Hav.
Again, we're watching live at the bike. 20-40 no limit. Brown chips are $10 chips. Whites are hundreds.
And Mo picks up another big hand. He's got ace, queen of spades this time. And all I can look for is I'm just curious what Mike's got. Well, Mike's not in the hand. He's folded.
Yeah, he's already folded. Mo's going to make it 150 to go.
And Mike, it's almost like Mike's game is improving exponentially every week.
Hav easily folds king-jack offsuit there on the button. Now, Dr. Allen here, this might be a case where Mo is short. It's almost like a stop and go, where if you think Mo's going to fire at the flop, you might check raise commit to a ragged board here, right?
Yeah, what does Mo have left?
Maybe 600 or 700. Well, queen 5-9, and Mo's hit top pair.
Yeah, nice flop.
And Mo moves all in here, and that's a Broadway card, and Allen folds. But again, I wonder if the flop came 9-5 deuce. If Allen checked, would Mo move all in? Would Allen make the call with 8s there?
Yeah, who knows? Obviously a good question. Button moves over to seat number 4. Once again, the blinds are 20-40. So Kenny and Wynn is in there for 20. M. Mox there. Mo X is in for 40. And the live straddle from Corporation Mike makes it $80 to go. So this is $80 to play. And Allen's going to call this. And Allen's going to call with pocket 9s from up front.
Pocket queens over here for Hav in seat 3.
And that's an easy raise for Hav.
Yeah.
And let's see now. He made it 380 last time when nobody had limped in yet. Now we got a limper, so what's he going to make it?
480.
480. Okay, so 100 more.
Straddled pot, one limper. He makes it 480.
There's already about $240 in the potties.
And Mo X is going to call with ace-8 of clubs. You wonder if he's tilting a little bit, Dave. And Allen comes in from behind, and I don't think Allen's deep enough to make that call. And this pot is quickly $1,500, 3 ways.
Why would Mo X be tilting, just out of curiosity? What happened to him? kind of like sympathy name
Well,
thing?
no, but he's kind of spewed off some chips here.
Oh,
in the
okay.
beginning. Well, 10-5 deuce here. Now is Allen going to get involved? Hobbs got the overpair. Gets checked over to Hobb, it looks like. It's a $1,500 pot.
And I'm not sure how deep Hobb is. But depending on how deep he is, he might just move in.
Yeah, it looks like he might have 2,500, and he is going to move all in.
Yeah, I
here.
mean, what are you going to do, put 1,500
Yeah.
and have 1,000 left?
He's going to move all in here, and for Allen, sometimes it's a tough spot. I think against Hav, you pick better battles here.
You really do. I mean, what's the worst hand Hobb
Yeah.
could have here? I mean, I guess Hobb could have ace, king of hearts, ace, queen of hearts. And obviously, you'd be an underdog with your pocket
Now,
nines.
I think Allen just about has Hav covered, so this pot is $4,000, $2,500 for Allen to call. Allen's
Yeah, and
gonna
he's not going to
away
get a nice laydown by Allen.
Yeah.
That really is a nice laydown. Hobb takes it down up to the spot.
Button moves over here to Kenny Wayne. And
We've got some good poker players at this table, I got to tell you. You look at some of the game players. You've got Hobb in seat number 3, Dr. Allen in seat 4, Kenny Wynn in seat 5, and Corporation Mike in seat number 6, seat number 7. All very, very good poker players and different players. Kind of shows that you can play different styles and still be a very, very good poker player.
It's going to get folded around here to Mike. I'm not going to chop it up. And the button's going to move over here to Mo X in seat 6.
One thing about Corporation Mike's game, I wonder now, we've always said that his game is really well suited for a tournament. The way he really pushes and the way he kind of, he puts everybody back on their heels. You wonder, though, if he has the patience and the discipline to kind of change gears.
Yeah.
And can he last in a 7-day tournament or a 5-day tournament, one of those $10,000 entries? I have no doubt he can win a $1,500 event where he only has to go 12 hours. He can accumulate a lot of chips and really put pressure on everybody else. But can he last for a 5-day event?
Of course, you always have to keep your concentration up. And you definitely need to know how to change gears. I mean, that's sometimes we talk about. I wasn't a huge fan of Madison when he was on the circuit, but he did say some interesting things about how there's only really a few guys out there that really know how to play no-limit tournaments well. And he said some of the guys that have been hot recently aren't the ones, like the Grinding. And some of these guys, he's not considering those guys ones because they only have one gear, Dave.
Well, it's funny. I mean, one gear can get you so far. We talked about like Philly Al Barberi, who's been really hot lately. He actually, over in the Bellagio in the Poker Classic, he came in 3rd in a big event. Over at Commerce in their, I want to say the LA Poker Classic, whatever it was, the recent one. He actually came in like, I want to say 2nd in one, chopped it up. He's really been hot, but he only has one gear. Fast and fast.
Heavenly Hold'em.
Yeah.
And fortunately for the cash game players, he plays in the same gear in the ring games as well.
Yeah, and obviously you can, if you only have one gear in a cash game and it's fast, eventually they're going to catch up to you and they're going to burn you down.
Limped around here 3 ways. Queen 4-6 with a couple of hearts. Looks like Allen's got the best hand here with middle pair. And it looks like it's going to get checked to Barry. And he's going to bet 210 here with ace-4. In position. Not a bad bet against 2 other players.
And this is like the new Barry. I got to say, I like it. He's not mixing it up too much, but he's stealing a pot here. He's stealing a pot there, keeping himself afloat. Waiting for the big hands.
The only thing that's a little bit questionable there is that Barry limped in, and I got to tell you, he limped in 2nd spot with ace-4 of diamonds. Now, what happens if Mike raises? He was on the button. Is Barry going to call? And how difficult is that hand to play? Because I think Barry would call, because it's
Probably
Mike.
would, yeah.
And how are you going to play that hand?
And now you're out of position against an aggressive
Remember,
player.
Barry limped in with that hand with Mike on the button, Dave, from up front.
It's one of the reasons why sometimes if you're playing with a guy like Mike or Jason Cacciatani, it almost makes you play really well in the sense that you're not limping in with hands like that because you know he's going to raise.
Kenny Wynn's going to make it 130. Again, kind of a smallish raise here with King-Queen suited. And Mike is called with a nice little suited connector.
I want to keep track of Kenny Wynn's raises here. Now he makes it 130 to go with King-Queen. What's he going to make it when he has aces or kings?
And we're heads up. King-Queen against 8-9 suited. Well, Mike's got middle pair. Kenny's flop top pairs. Mike going to get involved. He's got backdoor spades. King 9-4 with 2 clubs. He's bet 140 here. He's almost asking for Mike to go over the top, Dave.
He really is.
And there it is. And Mike is going to make it 340.
He makes it 340 more, right?
Well, actually, he makes it 340 straight.
Oh, that's
he
it.
raises
200 more.
200.
Kind of a small raise.
I think Kenny's trying to set this play up to go over the top, and I think Mike might be a good enough player now to lay it down. Well, he just calls. He makes the call, and this pot is quickly $800. Now the turn's a queen of spades, and now Kenny's got top two, and Mike picks a spade draw up.
Exactly. Now Mike
And he goes check, check, Dave. And the river is the jack of clubs. Kenny checked with top two, and he checked the river as well.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
once the river comes out, I think you have to check that. It's a jack and it's a club.
Yeah.
I don't think you can bet the river, because you certainly can't get called by a worse hand.
And look at that. Kenny went to check raise Mike on the turn. Mike picked up spades and checked right behind him.
Yeah, he took the card.
And would Kenny have gone broke if a third spade comes up on the river and Mike makes backdoor flush?
Yeah, who knows? He might have. Definitely might have lost about
Those stack
$1,000.
sizes, I think he probably does.
Yeah.
What'd you have?
8-9 of spades. And second pair, I turned a spade draw.
Button moves over to Allen. Alex is taking a break, and Barry's in the small blind, Hob in the big blind. Allen, Dr. Allen is going to limp in with a queen 10 of hearts.
220. All in.
And it's almost comical.
Mike is raised here with ace-8 of spades. And you know what? Mo, with his stack size, this is the correct play with tens.
How much? He got a lot of money, though. 1,100.
Well, I mean, how much are you going to make it?
No, I know,
It's a
I know.
$200 raise. I mean, there's going to be about 900 for Mike to call, and there's probably going to be about 500 of dead money in there. $1,400 pot, 900 for Mike to call.
I mean, I know it is often the best way to fight a bully. If you consider Mike a bully, best way to fight him is to punch him right in the nose. But Mo has done this play now 3 or 4 times in the first 30 minutes of the show, and it hasn't worked yet.
I mean, I know you say Mike needs to make these calls to get action, but here,
Oh, I don't think
with
this
the all
one.
in, I think he needs to get away from it, because any pocket pair, he's going to, he's not getting 2-1 here.
No, I think he can lay this down.
Yeah. And he makes the call. Oh, my goodness.
But it doesn't necessarily kill him for making, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not necessarily a terrible call, because he sets that image off of.
Well, he's picked up an 8 here. And he's talking about making a deal. Jack 8-7.
Hold on.
Mo's got a gut shot straight draw. He's got the best hand now. Mike's got backdoor spades. They're going to run it 3 times here, Dave. Turns a 4. Mike needs an ace or an 8 here. Mo's going to win the first one.
There
And
it
now
is.
Mike's ahead on the second one. And he wins the second one here with aces up. Turn is a queen here. And the river's 5. Mo's going to win 2 out of 3 there. And again, that is just to hedge the variance.
Exactly.
So Mo's kind of been playing Wednesday nights, Dave, short stacked. He's actually played short stack poker. He's been always buying in for the minimum.
You wonder, as much as I like Mo's game and as much as I respect him, and anybody that knows me, I mean, I really confide in him. I consider him a mentor of mine. I don't think he's playing short stack poker very well.
I think that Mo's good enough and he has a big enough bankroll. Why? I just don't, it's funny, again, in that circuit interview they were with Gabe Thaler, we were talking about, Gabe Thaler said, you might want to play good short stack poker if you're not that experienced playing deep stack, because in the long run you're going to lose money to an experienced deep stack poker player when you're playing deep stack. But Mo's experienced.
Yeah.
And I would take Mo deep stack against any of these guys. So I don't know why he's playing short stack.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, to me, the deeper you are, the deeper the hand plays out. And my example is, okay, if you're extremely short stacked, it's pretty much a pre-flop game. If you're a little bit more, it's a post-flop game. Well, then suddenly, the more money you have in front of you, then it becomes, there's plays on the turn you can make, and then even if you're deeper, there are plays on the river you can make. Well, Mo is taking all of that out of it. For him, basically, it's all in by the time the flop's out, and that's it. And I just don't understand it either.
This is an interesting hand here, too, if you're short. And I don't know how short Mo is right now. But ace-jack, Mo has raised it. Now it is suited. Sometimes the problem, though, is if you're short stack, if a guy calls you and you flop an ace and you bet, and he moves all in, you have to call, and you could be easily beat.
Yeah.
And it's funny, some people that might be a little bit more experienced playing short stack, is ace-jack a hand that you will raise from up front with, short stacked?
Yeah,
Which is something to throw out at you.
yeah, definitely.
Email here from Andrew McFarland. He says, what does the term floating mean? I don't really know what he's referring to, Dave. Do you?
Did we say floating?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Do me a favor and
Yeah.
email us again and let us know what exactly we said, when we said that, and what reference to. And
Email here from Paul Ferdiani. And Dave, maybe you can go through this after this hand is over. You've mentioned your -3, +3 point system last few days. How do you rank tonight's table? Pocket kings here for Allen in seat 9. He's just going to limp in. He's just going to limp in, and Barry Woods is going to raise in the cutoff. He's got pocket 7s. He's going to make it 240. Alex has limped in with a queen jack offsuit. And I assume that Allen is going to pull the limp re-raise here from up front with kings.
Almost definitely.
And there's the white chips. He's going to re-raise. This should be a very easy laydown for Barry.
Well, now it really becomes a math question. By Allen doing that, he might as well turn his hand over.
Right.
He might as well turn it over because he's got aces or kings. We all know that. I knew that. Barry knows it. Everybody knows it.
He's made it 600 more. So the rule that we use is that Barry would need to win 6,000 from the entire pot. If you look at Allen's chip stack, I think he only has about 2,000 in front of him, Dave.
How much is in the pot right now?
Well, there is some dead money in
There's
there.
600 in the pot right now.
Yeah. But again, Barry needs to win 6,000 in the total pot when it's all said and done. And Allen only has another 2,000 in front of him.
Yeah,
so I think it's an easy
Yeah,
laydown.
it is a nice laydown. You're right.
So why don't you go through and rate this table?
Well, it's funny. When you're ranking a table, you've got to rank it specifically for you. Because a player might... Now, let's say a player like Corporation Mike. Is he the type of guy that gives you a lot of problems? And if he is, he might be a -3. But if he's the type of guy that you like in a game, like if I talk to Hav actually likes Corporation Mike in the game, not necessarily because he likes to max it up with Corporation Mike, but he drives other players at the table crazy. So for Hav, Corporation Mike actually might even be a +1 because he makes the game better. And you have to keep that in mind.
Hav is limped in here.
Damn fair. Me too.
Oh, and these guys are two fluff artists. I don't think they bet against each other.
Really?
Yeah, Mike and Hav.
I think they do bet against each other.
I don't think so, Dave. I don't even know what Hav has here. Both players have pocket 3s. That's fine.
I've seen them bet against each other.
They haven't, not recently.
Really?
Yeah. George, Hav, and Mike all don't bet against each other. Quote me on that one, two fluff artists.
Man, I gotta tell you.
Hav's going to come back and watch the show. He's going to want to kill me. Actually, I'll ask Hav. Would he call my raise in the cutoff if he was on the button deep with ace-queen suited? Now, I did throw in that comment that I said that Hav might play a little bit conservatively post-flop. Not exactly passive. What I mean by that is he might bet out with an ace, Dave, on board once, and then he might check it to me on the turn if I have ace-queen. And that's the only thing I mean by that.
Right. But that's the problem with it. Even the pot is so big, the bet on the flop is going to be like $1,000. Do you really just want to call there?
Got a raise here by Mike out of the blind. With
Actually, in
ace-deuce.
contrast, I actually think Hav is more conservative than you pre-flop.
Yeah, he's really one of the tighter players.
Right, so when he raises, I give it a little more credence. Anyway, so for me, specifically me, if I was looking at this table, I would probably rate Alex as a +1. I would rate Barry as a +1. I would rate Hav as a -2. I'd rate Dr. Allen as a -1. I'd rate Kenny Wynn as a -1. Mox, I don't know well enough yet, and Mox there. Corporation Mike, for me, I actually think he's good for the game. I like him in the game because he makes action for the game. So for me, he's +1. But I'm not necessarily looking to mix it up with him.
And how do you rate Barry and Allen?
What?
Barry, I said, was a +1.
Yeah, and Allen might be a +2.
I would say Allen's probably, Allen's probably a +2.
Mike is racing
For
here on
me.
the button with ace-10, and he's hit the ace. Hey, he's hit the 10, and look at this. Barry's got a pair of 7s. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Last orbit, Dave, Barry limped in with a speculative tan when Mike was on the button. He does it again here. Mike is raised. He's hit top pair, and he's going to bet. Now, I don't know if Barry's going anywhere here. It's a $320 bet, and he makes the call, and this is trouble for Barry.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, against Mike, you want to pick your spots. You don't have to fight him every single time.
Turns a queen. It is a third spade. That might slow some of the action down. Check, check. The river now is a jack.
Wow.
And Barry looks like he wants to fire, and he's going to come out and fire.
Wow, and he's firing, and
he bets 700, and Mike calls him.
Nice call by Mike.
And Mike is going to take it down there with ace-10.
That's a nice call by Mike. It really is. Nice read.
That's the question all the time he says. Yeah, exactly. How you can call that? No, he calls himself.
And Barry, really, I mean, you really can't beat much there. Except maybe 10-9. You can beat 10-9. Because you can't beat 8-9, you can't beat spades, you can't beat 2-pair, obviously, Jack-10 or Queen-10.
You know, it's funny, to make a Batman Begins analogy, I just actually watched that for the first time last weekend. They were talking about with the young Bruce Wayne, the guy that taught him. He wasn't aware of his surroundings, and I sometimes think that Barry, in that case, he's not aware of his surroundings and who has the button in that position. Because I thought it was a mistake last orbit with ace-4 of diamonds. Here it costs him big with 7-9 of hearts.
Well, you've got to anticipate. It's like a chess match. You want to anticipate your opponent's next move. And in a sense, you have to know what your opponent's going to do, then how you will react, and then what your opponent will do to your reaction.
Barry here, Mike has raced it to 320 with ace-10, ace-queen, and diamonds. And again, a hand like pocket fours here out of position to Mike. Mike might be raising with anything. It's really tough to continue on.
And Mike has stepped up his game so much. The second he started betting with his real hands.
Yeah. And he makes the call. And these guys are both deep. It's about a $700, $800 pot. And Mike hits the queen. Queen 8-8. And is Moex going to continue on with his hand? Mike bets 500. It's a paired board.
I got to tell you, I like Mike's game. But it just makes him look like such a genius when he's hitting. I mean, the last two hands, he has ace-10, he hits top pair. This time he has ace-queen, he hits top pair. And Moex really can't beat much.
Does he really want to get involved here? And this is what Mike's style does. Is this guy going to get involved with this
Something as weak as pocket fours.
Yep.
They just always think Mike is bluffing, because he could be bluffing.
And he makes the call, and this pot is quickly $1,700. And the turn now is an ace, and that might save Moex.
Unless he's going to represent the ace. I think he's going to try to represent this ace.
Or is he going to represent an 8 here by check calling and leading into the turn? But we know Mike's not going anywhere.
Well, if you had an 8 here, wouldn't this be a great bet? If you had an 8.
And look at this. Moex bets 2,000, and Mike immediately moves all
And that's what I mean. What a great bet that would be if you had an 8 there, knowing that Mike probably hit that ace.
Yeah.
You bet in with his 8, and then you force him to move all in.
And Moex is out of there.
And obviously he doesn't have it. But if Moex made that move with an 8 in his hands, I love it. The river was an ace as well. Wow.
Yeah.
Mike would have filled up.
And that pot is a $5,700 pot there, Dave.
And Mike is running over this table right now. Absolutely killing the table. So if I added up these players here, let's see. So Alex, I said +1. Barry +1. Hob -2. That's even. Allen, that's Allen. I'm sorry. Dr. Allen -1. Kenny Wynn probably -1. That's -2. Corporation, so that evens out with that's Allen. That's even. Corporation Mike for me is a +1. Mo's probably a -1. It's probably an even table, as far as I'm concerned, without knowing Moex.
So what do you rate Mo and Hob as again? I'm sorry.
I said Hob was a -2. I said Mo's a -1.
Yeah.
$3.
Now Mo would become a -2 if Corporation Mike was not in the game. I hope that makes sense. Mo's game clearly changes with Mike in the game here.
And Mike is going to raise. He's got pocket jacks this time. Unbelievable. He makes it 300 to go.
And he takes it down.
You know, that was one of the things that we were really hard on Mike when, beginning, he's been on the show for over a year. He used to slow play his big hands now, and I think he now realizes, Dave, that with his style, to bet his big hands is definitely going to win him the most money.
I was watching a hand the other night where he said, he even told, he goes, if a king comes off, a club comes off, or my straight comes off, I'm betting 1,000. Now, obviously, he did not have the flush draw. He did not have a king. He only had a straight draw. But he said, I'm betting 1,000 no matter what. Any one of those three comes out. Sure enough, a king came off. He bet $1,000, and the guy threw it away, putting him on a king. And Mike correctly figured out all the possibilities that he could represent. And the thing that makes Mike special is he is fearless. He has no problem throwing the money in the pot.
And we got a raise here by Mike with 4-5 of spades to 300 here in mid to late position with 4-5 of spades.
And Mike right now, he is absolutely brimming with confidence.
And Mo is folded, but Allen is called with pocket 8s in seat 9.
And I don't mind that call. I really don't. You're in position.
And Barry Woods is going to call with king, queen off from up front here. Barry and Allen, Mike's two favorite guys. And this pot is about $1,000 here, Dave. Here we go. Mike, the pre-flop raiser. Well, Allen's got the best hand here, buddy. There's an ace on board.
It is.
Wow, and Mike checked it. And Allen checks right behind him. Turns to 6. Mike now has a pair and a straight draw.
Yeah, you can pick up a 3 for the straight.
Mike checked again, and now Allen's going to bet.
Yeah, I think he needs to bet, and he is.
Now, would you ever check raise Allen here? We've seen this play because Allen might not necessarily, and Mike check calls. Allen doesn't necessarily, might not be able to piece the hand back, and you don't put Allen on an ace if you didn't bet the flop.
Well, Mike called.
Yeah, it's just going to get checked down here.
And Allen wins himself a nice sized pot there with pocket 8s.
You know what I mean, Dave? I've seen you do that play before. You don't think Allen has an ace because if you check to him, he's probably going to bet that flop.
Definitely.
But if he throws a weak bet out on the 6 and Mike check raises him on the turn, I don't think Allen's going to call.
I mean, you could probably specifically put Allen on like a pocket pair somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 9.
Absolutely.
And Allen's got to pay the collection, and once again, it's $11 per player, so that's $99. Pot has to be over $500 to pay that, and obviously that pot was over that amount.
Can't wait to go home and watch my TiVo'd Lost season finale tonight.
Hey, once again, I want to announce, I want to congratulate Brian Short. His wife gave birth to a healthy 9-pound baby girl. Congratulations, Brian. That's a monster baby.
Wow. How much was it?
9 pounds.
Do you know my dad weighed 13 and a half pounds at birth?
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding. Isn't that amazing?
Oh, my God. That is ridiculous. 13 and a half pounds?
13, and it was a natural birth, too. 13 and a half pounds.
Jeez. Well, what did he bring out with him? She's like, Mom, I brought this with me. Is that okay? I brought a bag with me.
Made some yesterday. Bell pepper, too. Red bell pepper.
Now, when I want to play in a game, oftentimes I want the game to be at least
When I bring it for you, I'll make it the day before.
even or better. Obviously, I don't want to play in a negative game.
Or that day. I'll make it that day.
Now, this is a game that I would play in this game because there are a few players in the game that I would kind of target.
Remind me. Please remind me.
And fortunately, in a no-limit game, unlike a limit, you really can target some players. But this game is not great. You know, and you talk about game selection being key to your success as a poker player. This is not necessarily a great game.
Well, remember, I mean, imagine Mike from a year ago, Dave.
Oh, Mike a year ago was a +2.
Yeah.
And he made everybody even more crazy. But you notice how some players change other players. Mo, when he is the most aggressive player at the table, like Mo in a 500 game or in a 10-20 game where he can play it really aggressive, Mo's almost a -2 or a -3.
Right.
But with Corporation Mike in this game, Mo becomes maybe a -1.
Three-way action here limped around. Queen 10-6 on the flop. Looks like Allen's got the best hand here with 9-10.
He does.
He's in position, and he does not bet.
No, Allen, he really loses a little bit of value there by not betting that kind of hand.
Turns an ace.
And now he's going to bet it. And he's pretty much telling everybody, I either hit my ace or I've got a 10. And he takes it down.
Now, do you think Allen has kind of improved his game over the last year and a half?
It's not even close. I mean, yeah, he's definitely improved his game. He still has some problems with it. He still has some leaks. And it's funny, there are some players that their weaknesses are they're so predictable you can always know exactly where they're at. And there are some guys, their weakness is that they'll make a mistake somewhere along the way. They'll play it 90% well, and they'll make one mistake, and they'll lose their entire stack with that one mistake. Like Bird is a player that we talk about all the time. He's the kind of player that he plays okay, but he's more of a +2 or a +3 because he makes one huge mistake and loses $6,000 in one hand. Just spews chips off on one time.
Live straddle here by Mo X, and it gets completed by Kenny in the big blind. And Mo X checks the straddle. Ace 3-10, all hearts on board. Kenny's going to come out and bet here, and he's going to take it down. I'm surprised Kenny even completed there in the big blind.
Yeah, I am too.
Already done with the first hour of the show. Are there any guys in the lower level games that we do, the 3 to 5, that are -2 to you? Or do you just not see them?
-2?
Yeah, that's what it's kind of -2 is like really, I think in your opinion, really good, really bad for the game, really good player.
Yeah. I mean, Hob might even be a -3 in my mind. I think Hob's a really good player. I really don't like to mix it up with Hob. I rarely see him make a mistake.
Mo is going to raise it up here with ace-queen suited. Live straddle here by Mike. And now Mo X has the same hand as Mo in seed 8. Barry Woods, you can't really tell what he has. He's thinking about something, but we never saw his cards. He's got queen 10 of spades. It's a $160 raise.
He also, by the way, is wearing a thong tonight. So
he makes the call.
He could be thinking about that.
And that probably is going to bring Mo X. Now, Mo X re-raised ace-queen earlier in the night in position. This time he just calls. And Mike has got good old deuce 7 offsuit, and he calls. Because it's only 80 more to him. Mo made the minimum raise in the straddle, Dave. I mean, it was a limit raise. Pot is now about $600. Well, Mo's got overcards and a flush draw, but Mike's got the best hand here with a pair of 7s, and Mike is going to lead out here. He's going to bet 420, and Mo moves all in. And I don't think you really can blame Mo here.
No, I don't blame him at all. At least.
And look at this. Barry's got queen 10 over there.
You can't blame Mo at all, but I think Mo's either got, obviously, just a 10 or big hearts.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, I guess Mo could have. No, Mo's going to raise more with queens, kings, or aces.
Yeah. Barry easily gets away from queen 10 there.
And if Mo had 8-9, he'd probably slow play.
Now, I think Mike's trying to do some pot odds. It was a $400 bet. Mo makes the call. The pot's now $1,400. Now Mo is all in for how much more?
Looks like another 1,000 more, maybe.
So it's about a $2,500 pot, 1,000 a call. Mike is getting under, maybe under 2 to 1 here?
I'm sorry, it's actually more like 1,500.
1,500, so...
Yeah. So it's about a $2,900 pot, 1,500 to call.
So he's getting like 2 to 1. Yeah.
Getting 2 to 1. It depends on what you put Mo on. I mean, I think you can put Mo on. He probably either has... I don't think he has a 10, though. What is he raising out of the blind with? That little.
Well, if you think that Mo has hearts, if Mo turned his cards over, Mike is getting the right price to call.
He's an underdog here, but he's getting 2 to 1. So in this case, he definitely should call this. But if you start putting Mo on a range of hands, we just know Mo so well. We know that kind of mini raise out of the blinds. If Mo shows him 1, Mike's going to call. I really think he will.
And he showed him the queen of hearts. Mike called it. He showed him Mike said, "Who do you have, the queen of hearts?" And Mo showed him the queen of hearts. Well, now that
I think at this point, I think if Mike is thinking about it, I think you have to put him on king, queen of hearts, or ace, queen of hearts. I really do.
Really? You don't think he could have pocket queens?
He made it. It's an $80 straddle. He made it $160. Mo? We haven't seen that ever.
Right, because he's usually raising more than that, obviously.
Mo changes his raise sizes.
Yeah.
He makes it 400. He'd make it 400 with pocket queens, or pocket kings, or pocket aces.
So that card definitely can give you a lot of information.
Of course it can. The queen, the queen of hearts there, I know he now has either ace queen, king queen, queen jack, maybe queen 10. But is he raising with queen 10? Man, that's getting real marginal.
Got word that the heart came on the river there in the rabbit cam.
They're going to run it twice still, probably, and they're probably going to split it up anyway. So.
That's what I thought happened too. I'm like, oh, you're fine.
And you know what Mo just said? He didn't realize it was a straddled pot. He was trying to make it like 3 times the big blind, Dave.
There you go.
Or he was trying to make it 160, which is his standard raise. That's why it was a little peculiar.
Oh,
now, it's funny, though. You
does make sense.
Say that, though. He could have had queens there because he didn't realize it was a straddled pot.
Well, sometimes it's funny. Yeah. You make a read on somebody, based on what they did, and you don't realize that they made a mistake and they didn't realize what they were doing.
Now look at this. Mike is going to lead out here with Jack 8, and Barry's going to min-raise. Well, he's going to raise a little bit with Jack 9
It's
here.
kind of like the time where you moved all in on a guy because you read weakness, because he didn't know he had 2 pair.
Right. Mo X here has made the call with an open-ended straight draw, Jack 10. Remember, Mike is just bet out with a gut shot.
What does he have, Jack 10? That's not open-ended.
You're right, it's not. It's a gut shot to the 8, and Mike overcalls with a gut shot to the 10. With a turn to 5, Barry now has top pair clubs.
Well, Mike has now got a double gutter. He can catch a 6.
And Barry bets 400
Mike
here.
can catch a 6 or a 10 now.
Would you ever check that turn if you were Barry there when you get called in 2 spots? And Mo X calls again. And Mike calls again. And we've got a $2,500 pot going to the river. And the river here is an ace.
Now, I got to tell you, I probably bet and I check now. I think Barry played it perfectly. You can't check it. If Mike had a big hand, he's going to raise you, right? He's going to play it hard. Okay?
Remember, you got the guy Mo X in there as well, but...
Yeah, but what am I going to do? I'm going to check and then I'm going to fold to a bluff on the river? I'm inducing a bluff and then I've got to call off a big bluff with Jack 9? Or I'm going to give him a free card, they're going to get there, and then I'm going to pay him off?
In that case, if he had checked the turn, that river is awfully scary if someone's, say, representing some
Of
sort
course.
of...
Just overcards. I can't give a free card there. No way. I don't think my hand is strong enough to give a free card. I'm going to bet the turn there and take the free card, take the free showdown. And if they check raise me, well, then I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Pocket kings here for Hob in seat 3.
And we've seen Hob raise it 3 times. Once with queens, once with kings now. And early on, he actually raised it with Jack 10 of hearts, kind of using his image. And he makes it 340 to go after a couple of limpers.
3 limpers, to be exact. Now, Alex has limped in second position with 6-5 of spades. And this is just not a hand that he should call out of position against Hobbs.
No, he doesn't have enough money.
Yeah. Now it's going to fold King Jack. Yeah, Alex is quickly out of there. Barry's got King Queen offsuit. He's out of there.
And some people can say, well, Hob raised so much he doesn't get any action. There's $180 of dead money in that pot.
Email here from Steve Reeder. He says, first off, great job on the show. I've got a question about backers. I play $500 buy-in live professionally. Pretty successful at it. I make a decent living making about $50,000 a year. I was wondering if any of the regulars, Mo or Corporation Mike, back any players in the 10-20 game if they find those players competent. And I actually talked to Mo about backing people in cash games, and it's something that he doesn't really do, because unless you really trust somebody, Dave, or really watch them, it's impossible to know exactly how they're doing in the game.
Of course.
Now, Barry's going to raise it with pocket queens.
How easy is it? Just take a $500 chip and stick it in your pocket, you know?
Now, Mike is called with pocket 3s, and these guys are deep. You wonder if a 3 with rags comes, is Barry going to get killed here? Queens against 3s.
Oh, there was a queen.
Well, how about top set here for Barry?
And I bet it.
Make Mike try to make a move on you?
I bet it right into Mike. I got to tell you. And I like it. I really do.
Going to bet 400 here.
Now, Mike might just throw this away. I would say there's probably a 75% chance. But
and look at this. He's going to call. Oh, he's going to probably try to represent spades here with a turn to jack.
Well, he's starting to think of what can he represent. Now,
and now Barry checks.
I don't mind it.
But look at this. Mike checks right behind him, and the river's a jack, and Barry fills up. And now do you check it one more time and let Mike try to fire at it? The way that this hand is played out?
I'll put it this way. I hate checking this, but if there's ever a player you would check it, it would be Mike.
Now, Mike actually might check behind here with pocket
because he has
threes.
a pair.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know, I mean, if Mike just had spades, or if he had just, like, say, ace-jack or something like, ace jack.
And look at this. Barry bets 900 and Mike calls.
Wow.
And Barry's going to win it with queens full.
Nice bet. Nice bet. And I got to tell you, it was one of the few times where I actually like the check and the turn.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, the play that we recommend kind of goes out the window against Mike.
Right.
Sometimes you've got to play it a
We
little
always talk
different.
about there's times of slow play against an aggressive player like Mike. That is one of the times. Yeah. Got a picture of there. The Corporation Mom. That's Trish. There she is. Button moves over here to Mo in seat 8. Barry's going to limp in here with ace-10 offsuit under the gun. And again, look where Mike is in the spot here in this hand game. He's in the cutoff.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And is Barry going to call if Mike raises? Well, Mike is just going to limp in. An ace-10 offsuit, a horrible hand to play out of position against Mike. I think it's sometimes even worse.
Yeah.
Well, there's the ace.
And nobody has a 4, fortunately for him. Now, is Alex going to get in trouble with ace-deuce?
He checks, and Barry's going to bet 300 here. Couple clubs.
Mike is trying to check.
Check, Mike. You have to either play or call. I hit a pair.
Yeah, somebody teach Mike how to play poker.
Chris, could you teach him a little bit?
And is Alex going to check call the whole way here again?
He might.
Turns a 9. He checks again.
Barry's 10 still plays. Now, Alex is going to need a deuce to win this pot.
Barry bets 500. And if Alex just calls here, does he throw a little value bet here and again?
Alex needs.
Oh, the river. No, but it doesn't matter.
Sorry.
It doesn't do anything.
Thank you. For a second, I
The
thought
deuce
it was
doesn't do anything. It just goes check, check. But the ace-10, I don't necessarily mind. The ace-10 is going to play there.
Yeah, for a second, I thought Alex could win the pot. Alex was actually drawing dead to a chop.
Yeah.
He needed a 4, an ace, or a jack, queen, king.
And we've seen Alex
win
play
the chop.
2 pots and bleed off almost 40-50% of his sack, check calling Barry here with second best hand.
And if Barry would pay attention to that, this is the nature of Hold'em, especially no limit. You can pick your opponents. And if I was playing at this table, you might say, okay, Alex is a guy that I can target. You know, maybe Alan is a guy I can target. Got a chip count here, $50,000 on the table almost.
Mike's up to 10,000 in seat 7. Take a look at the differences here. Oh, Mike is up 6,000.
I tell you, the swings he has,
Yeah.
6,000 in about an hour. Mo X down 5,000. Wow. And Mo has crawled his way back a little bit. He's still down 3K though.
Email here from Michael Napick. He says, I have a private game I play in Texas. I have a corporation Mike in my game who always push me out of pots. In your opinion, what's the best way to beat an ultra-aggressive player like Mike who can smell a slow play?
Put you on a monster or ace king?
If you watch the show,
Check the turn.
Corporation Mike is pretty much in every hand.
Yeah.
So you often hear what we say and how to play against him. Having said that, though, it's not easy.
Limped around here 2 ways, and now Alex is going to pop it up from the button in seat 1. He's got an ace-queen offsuit. He's going to make it 230 to go. Now, Hav is in the blind with pocket 8s. It's going to be about 200 more for him to call. Looks like Alex has over 2,000. Obviously, Hav has him covered. I think you can make this call. Now, he is out of position. And if Hav plays it conservatively a little bit pre-flop, he might actually get away from it and not get involved. He folds.
How much was the raise?
230. It was only 190 more for Hav to call.
I don't know if... how much money does Alex have left?
He's got about 3,000.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that Hav laid that down.
I'm saying, I mean, Hav is definitely conservative pre-flop. Sometimes he just doesn't pick a spot. He goes, you know what? I don't need to get involved in this one.
Got an email here from Jonas. That's not the Jonas, is it?
That might be.
I don't know. What is Jonas's last name? I don't know.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, though.
He says floating is when you call in position with nothing and then
With the intention.
of setting up a bluff on a later street.
Okay.
I've never heard that term before.
Learn something new every day, especially on Live at the Bike.
Hav has got queens here in the small blind.
And he's going to raise.
Yep.
Man, he's picked up some big hands tonight, huh? Wow, he has raised. Okay.
He's going to make it 300 to go. Now, Mo here, is he going to call with pocket 8s? Yep.
And he said, I don't have enough money
Yeah.
to call. And Barry, obviously, not going to get involved with an ace-deuce.
Yeah.
And once again, I was going to say, now, if I'm Barry, okay, and I'm sitting in this game, you realize there are players to get involved with. There are places where you can make money. And there are places you want to avoid.
Right.
You have ace queen?
And sometimes that's really the secret to the game, in the sense, if you're honest with yourself, you recognize your weaknesses, you can usually take advantage and take advantage of other person's weaknesses as well. Supposedly the Phoenix-Dallas game is a real defensive battle. They might score more points in the Phoenix-Dallas. They might score more points in one game than Detroit-Miami the entire series. Flop comes out King, Queen, 5, and we got Top pair for Alex in seat number 1. He's got no kicker, really. King Jack.
Well, Alex is going to call here when Mo bets into him with Queen Jack. Turns at 10. Both players are now open-ended. Mo checks.
And I think if you're Alex, you have to bet this without a heart in your hands.
Check, check. River's an 8. This might just get checked down here. Well, Alex might throw a little value bet in here.
Yeah, that's the kind of value bet that's kind of like, oh, man, I almost have to call this. But the guy can't be bluffing, can he?
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he checks the nut flush there on the turn. I don't think that there's anything that Mo can beat.
He checked his cards. Did you notice him checking his cards? He checked his cards to see if he had a heart in it. Kind of things you can look for. There's no way Alex has got a flush here. I really can't believe Alex did not bet the turn. I don't know how you give him a free card with that kind of board. Now, if Alex had the Jack of Hearts, it's much different. Or the King of Hearts, obviously, it's much different. And Mo is, Mo goes, you know what? I know I'm beat, but I'm going to throw $200 in there anyway.
Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com.
Button moves over to seat number 4. Once again, if you missed any part of this show, you can watch it in the replay. We replay it at 11 p.m. tonight, Pacific time, and then every 3 hours until 5 p.m. tomorrow. We also replay the entire week on Sunday, starting at noon. Got a straddled pot here. $80 to go. And Alex is going to just call with pocket 4s. Corporation Mike is almost definitely going to raise this, and he does.
Now, Mo X completed with 9 deuce. And Alex is going to call him in position with 4s. He's deep enough, I guess. Here we go to the flop.
Pot's about $800.
Oh, there's the ace. And Mike is going to come out with that. That's 500. Again, a guy who's been playing it tight all night might just make a move here on this flop just because it's Mike, right?
Definitely. Not even a question. Or you might have called him with ace 10 and then you lose all your money to him.
And I think sometimes we're hard on Mike as to sometimes he calls down where hands that he just, there's no way that he could be ahead, like that hand against Kirk from last week. But I think it might, filter into that hand there. Say seat number 1, Alex moves all in there. Well, I think Mike, he almost looks at it like he has to call because everyone might be making a move on me.
Well, it's one of those things that he kind of puts it in reverse. He goes, well, they know that I could be bluffing, so they could be making a move with nothing.
Right.
And he
that
really
time
wants
against Kirk, though, last week, I mean, I think that was just an obvious case.
Yeah, it is. He loves putting that image out there. Don't bluff me, because I'm going to call you down every time.
Mo X makes it only 100 more.
Well,
out of the small blind with queens.
Easy call for Barry.
That is trouble. Mike instantly calls with 9-10 of diamonds. I mean, that is definitely...
Oh, yeah. Well, this pot's about, 400 now?
400.
And there's the 4.
Look at this, and Barry flops a set, and Mo X has got the overpair.
And
Mike has got a gut shot with overcards to the 7.
As long as Barry doesn't slow play this, he's going to get a lot of money here. You don't want a heart to come off, or a 5, or a 5 or a 7 to come off and kill your action.
Especially if Mike calls here in between.
I don't think he can. There's 2 hearts out there.
Come on, Barry, raise it up here, buddy.
Oh, it's an easy raise. And how much did he make it?
$500 bet here. Mike has not folded yet, Dave.
I think you can make it. I think you can make it $1,000 or $1,200 right now. No need to really push it, but I think you raise it a little bit.
Oh, this is great, Barry.
Yep, and
it looks like he's going to min raise.
The one strength of his game is he's never really slow plays. He's actually make it 1,500.
1,500. He's going to build the pot up for himself. I don't think Mo X is going anywhere here.
Mo X might move all in right now.
And look at this. He says re-raise. Oh, I can't believe how badly Mo X has played this by raising 100 here out of the blind.
Yeah.
And he's going to commit all his chips here with an overpair.
You got to realize when you only raise it 100 out of the blind, it's basically a limped pot. And what does Mama always say?
Mo X has said re-raise, and I think Barry knows he's good here. If the guy's got a set of 8s or set of 6s, so be it. So there's the monies in there. The pot now is $4,500 plus the raise. And Barry looks like he's got another 7,000 left, and Mo X has him covered. And there might be a little bit of room to finagle here, Dave. He's going to make it 2,000 more.
2,000 more? I just call this.
It's 2,000 more here.
Unless you're scared of Ace King of Hearts or Ace Queen of Hearts.
The pot right now is about 5,000. 2,000, about 5,500, 2,000 for Barry to call.
Could Mo X, does he have aces here? Could he have king, queen of hearts, ace, queen of hearts,
Yeah, but
ace,
the
king of
thing
hearts?
here is, if Barry pushes, the pot would be 13,000. I don't mind the push here. He's
Okay.
going to move all in.
No, I don't mind it at all either.
He's going to move all in here.
But you could just call this in position.
Yeah. He's going to move all in here. And now the pot is 13,000, 7,000 for Mo X to call. And that's why I said I didn't mind the push, because he's going to be getting about 2 to 1 on his money here with the overpair. Actually, it's only 4,000 more. Excuse
So
me.
it's 13,000, 4,000 to call?
11,000, 4,000 to call.
Okay.
So 2.5.
That's different. I was going to say, if it was 13 and 6 to call, I think it was a little bit too much. Because that's an easy laydown then.
Yeah.
6 to call on a $13,000 pot. I'm only getting 2 to 1. That's an easy laydown. But in this case, 11-4 to call. Man, I'm getting 3 to 1 about on my money. I think you can lay this down, though. I mean, you got to put this guy in a big hand. You really do. You bet he raised, you re-raised, and now he's moved in.
But again, I don't have any problem with the way that Barry played it with the chip stack sizes in this manner.
I guess I don't either. The only thing is, would a guy play a flush draw like that? Or is he representing an overpair? And if he's representing an overpair, might you just smooth call him one time there? You've got the raise in there. You built the pot.
Look at this. He called anyways, Dave.
He did, okay.
Made the call. Unbelievable. The turn's a jack. Boy,
needs a
needs a
queen,
queen
only
and a
queen.
queen only.
And are they going to run it more than once? No, they're
and
not.
the river is an 8, and I can't believe that guy went broke on in what essence is a limped pot with an overpair. He made it 100 out of the small blind.
I got to tell you, there's nobody I'd rather give. I love to give shit more than to Barry, but I am extremely happy that he won this pot. I was rooting for him. He's kind of my
Look what Mike would have made on the river there.
wow, straight flush.
No, he would have made a backdoor flush, and Barry would have had the full house.
4,400.
And the funny,
No way Mike's getting there, though.
well, the funny thing is that if Mike calls, Barry's going to raise anyways, but Mike picks up an open-ended straight draw with his diamonds on the turn as
But
well.
he's never going to get to the turn. I mean, I guess if it was Mo betting 500 and Barry was like some sort of idiot.
Dave, that pot was over 15,000. Just like that, just one hand with a set. It's going to make Barry feel good. He's been running bad.
Well, you know what? Barry's playing it really well tonight in the sense that, I mean, the 9-7 was the only hand where he got himself in trouble because he limped in with a garbage hand, called a raise out of position with a garbage hand, and ended up losing about $1,200 in the pot. But you notice that he's kind of just playing it slow, winning a pot here, winning a pot there.
Yep.
He waits for a big pot, and he gets paid off to the tilt. I don't know if it's right or not, but I don't really care. I mean, I do play favorites, and I root for Barry. He's such a nice guy. We're obviously friends with him. And as far as I'm concerned, the more money Barry has, the more likely I'll get it at some point.
I'm glad. I'm happy to hear that. I just can't. How do you lose that much money with the way you play queens in that manner? It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, really. I mean, I really think you should have laid it down there on the turn. I mean, on the flop.
On the flop, he re-raises him. Barry comes over the top.
I mean, the only thing is if you put Barry, is there anyway Barry's got like ace jack of hearts.
Now we have a raise here by Mo X. Is it on the button? Ace 7 of diamonds. Dr. Allen's in there with pocket. Dr. Allen is not in there with pocket 6. Mike's in there with 5. He goes check, check on the flop. Turns a queen. Check, check again. And the river now is a jack, and Mike has the best hand here with 5s. Gonna win it.
Look at that board, though. 9, 10, jack, queen, and 5s are going to win it. Amazing. Now, after watching this table for about an hour, obviously nobody's ratings are really changing, but I will say that Mo X is probably a +2.
I have to give credit, Dave, to us for that hand that Barry won. I'm sorry, but he watches the show. He knows what we preach. It's a
He
great.
does that, though. He's always done that. He's never slow played.
Right, but I mean, way back before he started playing on the show, though.
Okay.
You know.
I'll take credit.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Donna, tell Barry that he owes us $1,000 each.
Yeah.
Actually, no, $500 each.
He raised it right away, Dave.
130.
Dr. Allen is going to make it 130 to go here with pocket 8s. Again, kind of a smallish raise.
Obviously, nothing would have changed there if he just smooth called there.
Does Allen have a hard-on for Queen 7 offsuit? He makes the call here again in the big blind.
He probably does. I mean, he's kind of a superstitious guy. He plays his instincts. He goes, I get a feeling. This is my favorite hand. I like it.
Hav is in there with the King Jack suited. Well, Hobb has flopped a straight here. And Hobb checked it. Hobb checked it. Ace, 10, queen. Well, I guess he's mixing it up a little bit.
Well, you know, when you play so few hands,
Yeah.
like Hobb, once in a while you get the slow play to get any action at all.
$180 bet here by Dr. Allen.
I mean, you even say yourself, obviously, more often than not, 90% of the time you're betting your hands, but once in a while you check raise. Now, you've got to realize that if your opponent has an ace here, you don't want an action killer to come off.
Yeah.
Say a heart, a king, a jack.
Looks like Hobb is he going to just call here?
I imagine he's going to raise this up, heads up. No real point in slow playing it, because what's he going to do, check him on the turn? And then Dr. Allen takes the card. And Dr. Allen, obviously, he's in terrible shape here. He needs running cards, and this is probably just
He's
going
got to,
to
like, min-raise here.
Yeah, Allen's, he's out of this.
And look at this, Dr. Allen calls.
Is
Wow.
Dr. Allen going to set up a play?
Turn is a queen. It pairs the board. Now, that might be a little scary for Hobb, and Hobb checks.
Of course it's scary for Hobb.
This pot is over $1,000 now. And Hobb is really staring at him. And Dr. Allen's going to bet.
And how much?
He bets $440 into a $1,000 pot.
Kind of a pot controlling bet there, isn't it? I mean, it's almost a bet where this guy's he's either got like a weak ace, like ace jack or something like that, or he's got the nuts. He's got ace queen or queen 10.
And Hobb is going to raise him again. He's going to check raise him again. And I don't think he believes now. He's going to make it 2,000 more.
Well, he's going to find out for sure now.
Well, is there a value to that play? I mean, would you ever get called by a hand here that doesn't beat you?
You might. I mean, probably not, but you might get called by a queen.
It shows the king jack.
You might get called by king queen. You might.
And because that queen was exposed, so I can't call. That was the last thing.
Saved you money then.
I sure did, I know. You had queen? Threw it away? Yeah, but I'm glad I did. Anyways, I wouldn't call you.
Once again, if you want to email us, you can email us at live@thebike.com.
Right. I think David Kelsey is on the thread, trying to figure out how to email us. He never knew. I don't quite understand that, but.
Rob Bizzle says, hey, is Corporation Mike actually a winner in this game? And it's funny, oftentimes people love to rag on him, love to say, oh, what a laggy player. I know how to handle these guys. I would challenge any of these guys to come on down here, sit down in a game with him, and see how you can do against him.
Got a $300 raise here by Mo X in the cutoff, or one off the cutoff, King Jack off, so he's going to take it down.
It's always tough to play against somebody who's fearless.
Email here by Carl Choice. He says, I'm watching in Japan. I don't know if we've ever had a viewer said he's from Japan. It's new here. There you go. In Japan, there are no live poker games. I have no choice but to play online. Straight out of Lost. Were you a fan of Lost in Translation?
I love Lost in
I did
Translation.
too.
I thought that was a fabulous movie.
$220 raise here by Mo X with pocket fives. I would love to go to Japan sometime. I mean, the great thing about Lost in Translation is it was kind of the first kind of English movie that really said, okay, this is kind of how Japan is.
Yeah.
And it's much, much different than obviously that we ever really get to see it.
Yeah, I thought the movie was brilliantly acted, brilliantly written. I thought it was a really fabulous movie.
Yeah.
I was glad that it actually won. I think it won Best Screenplay that year.
But moves over here to Alex in seat number.
You know what he mentions here? Carl actually mentions, he goes, hey, the look back seems that many pros like to look back at their hole cards after they take a pot down with a bluff. Just a habit, perhaps. And I've noticed that as well. A lot of times, people like to look at their cards after they bluffed. Successfully, that is.
Uh-oh, pocket queens for Allen in seat 9. And look at this Kenny win here. It's limped in with aces. Mo has raised it with queen 10. And I think Allen's going to re-raise here with queens.
Oh, man.
No, Allen just calls with queens.
Well,
and look at this.
how does this work for Kenny Wynn?
Alex calls with Jack 10 and Kenny Wynn. There's now over $1,200, well, it's about $1,000 in dead money. He's limped in with aces. And is Allen going to go broke on this hand with these stack sizes? I think he might.
What would you make it? 1,200 to go?
Well, there's 1,000 in there. You might
Make it
make
1,000?
it
Make it 1,200?
1,500.
Nobody can call.
Yeah.
You can make it 1,000 because anybody calling 1,000 is pot committing themselves.
Mo's quickly out of there.
And Allen is really put to the test here.
He's going to make it 1,500.
1,500 straight, so 1,300, actually 1,200 more.
I would be really impressed if Allen lays this down. Really impressed.
What do you think?
I don't think he's going to, but I would really be impressed if he was. What do you think?
See, he's looking at the pot, and he should be looking at Kenny.
Yeah. I mean, again, though, if Allen makes this call, he's going to get wrapped in. He's not going to go anywhere if the flop is rags. Right? I mean, he's going to pot commit himself if he calls and the flop is rags.
We saw Bert do this the other day.
Yeah.
You know, and against certain players, like let's say Corporation Mike made this move, I might go broke with queens.
Yeah.
But against Kenny Wynn or Hav, you know what? Queens are hitting a muck. And if they're making a move with ace-king, God bless them.
And Allen makes the call here. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't see it. I had to agree with you there.
Yeah. And like I said, you know, a saving grace for Allen here would be if a king or an ace comes on board here. That's going to save him. Pot is over $3,000.
There's the ace.
The ace,
Oh, wow.
and there's the king. Oh, did Allen get off here?
Yeah, he really did.
He got off with the rest of his chips.
I got to tell you, though, Kenny might be putting Allen on kings. Is there any chance? No, Allen didn't re-raise.
No, he didn't re-raise.
He didn't re-raise, so there's no way he has kings.
How about you think he might have ace-king or ace-queen, though? Because Allen plays ace-queen like it's nuts, too. I think I just bet here.
Yeah, I think you probably have to, but it's really...
The pot is 3,200 because you're not going to check here. Allen's not going to bet if he doesn't have an ace on it.
I might check it once.
Really?
I have the ace of spades in my hand. I might check it once. Remember, the pot is already huge.
Yeah.
There's no urgency to build this pot. The pot is already...
And it went check.
Yeah, I don't mind that play. The pot is already $3,600.
Turns a deuce.
See, now you can put a nice little $500 bet in there, or $700 bet, and keep betting.
And check again. And the river is a third spade. And now Kenny's going to move in.
And now Allen can't be...
Wait a minute. No, it was just a $400 bet. He bet 400 and Allen called him. And now, you're right, Allen could not beat anything there on the river.
No, he really couldn't. But he paid him off. Now, I think Allen would have called, say, a $500 bet on the turn. See, I think if you bet the flop, Allen's going to throw it away. But by just checking one time, you confuse an inexperienced player enough where you can probably get an extra $1,200 out of him. Maybe you bet $500 on the turn, and maybe you make it a $600 or $700 bet on the river, and Allen just feels like the pot is too big to throw it away, and he calls you, even though he probably knows he's beat.
Lose all your money.
I've got an email here from David Kelsey. He says, for the record, I never did the quote-unquote behind-the-scenes stuff in entertainment. I was so hungover last night. Has Barry been drinking tonight? I actually went out and whispered in Kelsey's ear after the show that he was a pussy. At the end of the night.
Hey, you are what you eat. Button moves over to seat number 3.
Should I give out Kelsey's website here? Because he put it in the email.
No.
No?
Not unless he wants it to be.
I gotta see this. I mean, he'll probably get a bunch of hits. Oh, is he a realtor?
He tells you it's okay.
Is he a realtor? Okay.
Apparently, yeah. The Caldwell Banker sign. Give it away. He does everything, huh?
Actor, realtor.
Well, it seems like most actors end up being realtors at some point or another.
Raised here by Mike with ace-7 to 220 from up front. Allen calls with pocket nines. Alex is going to call with king-10 of diamonds in seat number 1.
You know, a lot of times players give that suited
thing
a little bit too much weight. Now there's the king, but how does he know? How does he even know where he's at?
Well, I think that he's going to continue on with the hand.
I mean, you'd almost rather the board come out 10-8-6 than king 8-6.
And look at this. Mike bets and Allen moves all in. And this might actually be a play now where Allen might win himself this pot by making this move.
Now, this might be a play. Now, somebody was asking, how do you play against Corporation Mike? Well, if you think Corporation Mike is making a move and you think you have the best of it, well, put him to the test. Take it away. You can also obviously induce bluffs against a player like that.
It's a $400 bet. Allen's moved in for 1,000, so it's a 600 over to Alex. But the way that Allen plays here, I would probably get away from King 10. Now the pot now, it was $900 in the pot, $1,300 when Mike bets 400. Now Allen moves in. It's a $2,300 pot, 1,000 for Alex to call. He's getting about 2.3 to 1. He also has to deal with Mike behind him.
I got to tell you, if Alex makes this call, it'll be the right call, but it's a terrible call.
I agree with
Now,
you.
Allen could be, he could be
Yeah.
steaming after he just lost those queens. But, I mean, Allen just doesn't make that many moves.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think I would get rid of this hand, even though he has the best hand with what we've seen. Any calls, and I'm a little surprised.
And Allen is probably going to go broke here. Obviously, Mike's going to throw this
King
away.
10. Wow. Allen could catch running hearts here, some sort of running straight.
Oh,
there's one heart, and the river's a heart, Dave, and the 9 high flush with the ace and the king out there takes it down, and Alex. And I got to tell you, we say this about some of these guys, and not to necessarily stereotype, but we've seen a Sinjin, we've seen was it Sylvester. Some of these guys, we've said it before. Some of these young Asian guys who play great 98, 99% of the time, but when they lose, they have a tendency to go on real tilt. So
You think he plays? I don't even think he plays good 98% of the time. No. I haven't seen him play good tonight at all.
That wasn't my point.
Definitely, you're right.
Okay, that wasn't my point.
Well, that's kind of experience there. It might. We're saying it's young Asian guys, but it might be young players in general.
Right.
It's that emotional control that a lot of young men don't have. The testosterone is just roaring through them.
And
I mean, it's all the more impressive you see a player like Hobb. Now, Hobb is a little bit older. Hobb is, I believe, in his early 30s, and he clearly has control of his emotions. One of his strong points.
Mike is straddled here. Three-way action limped around.
Now, Allen actually sucked out, but I still think it was a bad call by Alex. I really do.
Checked around here. Turns of 4.
Alex has got the queen of hearts.
Now, Mike is going to lead in here. He's got the best hand with a pair of 4s. And Alex quickly calls him. This is going to be interesting to see what this river brings. The river's an 8, and the pair of 4s is good here. And it goes check, check, and Mike is going to take it down there with a 4. Wow.
Alex didn't fire at it.
Nope. Nope. Wow.
I got to tell you, after watching an hour and a half of this, I want to see a chip count. And there it is. Look at that. I tell you, man, you guys are good. 45-8 on the table. How do we lose? We're going to lose money up the table?
We love you, Wayne. That was a good answer, man. I like that.
I said, remember that big body said not going to happen.
Okay, because we had 48,000 before. It's kind of odd. Barry with 16, Mike with 7.5, Hobb with 6,000, Kenny with 5. Let's see how they're doing. Barry's probably going to be our big winner. Mike also is doing pretty well tonight. Yep, Barry up $11,000, all in one hand.
Mo X makes basically a minimum raise with queens and goes broke to a ragged board. Barry hits a set. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Dave.
I got to tell you, remember that email somebody asked me to kind of rate this table? Now, after an hour and a half of watching this table,
Yep.
I'm going to give you new ratings. Because the game suddenly, when I first looked at it, I said, it's a great game for TV.
Right.
And I'm really excited about talking about it, but I'm not sure it's a great game to play in. Well, now after watching it, I actually think the game is probably a +3. Because I think Alex is a +2. I think Mo X is a +2.
Really think Alex is a +2?
I do. The way he's
The way he's playing tonight, you mean?
Okay, he's played 4 pots.
Yeah.
He hasn't raised one of them. He hasn't raised at all. All he's done is check call his money off with the worst of it almost every single time. Except that last time where he had the best of it. But he was just checking and calling. Ah, okay, I'll just call. I'll call off my money. I don't know any winning players that are checking and calling. We saw him lose about $3,000 to Barry with hands that were really pretty mediocre. Right now, I mean, I look at the way Alex is playing. I think he's a +2. I do. And if you look at the way that I rated the table, I think the table is probably overall a plus. I want to say a +2 or a +3.
6-way action here. Allen's limped in with ace-king. Jack 6-4 with a couple of hearts. Jack 10 over here for Alex in seat 1, and he checks it. He's going to check it, and he's going to get checked around. Turn is a 6. Does anybody have a 6? No, not quite.
Now, if somebody had a 6 and bet into him, what would he do?
Like right now, I think that Mike is Mike going to... No, Mike did not bet.
No. But let's say Mike had 3-6.
Yeah.
Which he could have easily.
He's in the blind, too.
Of course.
Is Alex going to pay Mike off the whole way?
I mean, and that's another thing you have to obviously be aware of. When you're picking a table, oftentimes players will play different. Like right now, Corporation Mike is absolutely brimming with confidence. He is really playing at the top of his game. Now, there might be a point where he's almost overconfident, and he starts playing almost a little bit badly because he's overconfident. Starts thinking he can outplay everybody. Kind of, it gets that Jonas of like win every pot syndrome type.
All right, I
thing.
want to pay attention here, Dave, because Mike has the button here. I've talked about this in 2 orbits. What does Barry Woods have? He should not limp in with a marginal hand. It cost him $1,000 earlier tonight.
I mean, the odds are
We couldn't see what he had.
Corporation Mike is probably going to raise this, say, 75% of the time, right?
What's limped around to him, Alex has limped in with ace-jack suited. He folds.
Well, it's got to be pretty bad for him to fold, and it was 4 deuce offsuit.
Well, and Alan's going to raise it with pocket tens. He's going to make it 200 more out of the blind. And I don't know, if I'm right to Alan's left and I'm that short, I don't really make that call with ace-jack suited.
I tell you, sometimes Alan, the best thing that can ever happen to Alan for his game is he gets a beat, like with queens, and then suddenly he becomes more aggressive because he goes, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to just put my money in there now.
4-way action here. About an $800 pot.
Well, there's the jack.
Jack, 6-4 with a couple diamonds. Now, I think with Alex's stack size here, I think you just push here, right?
I think
$500 bet.
2 diamonds out
There
there.
it is.
Yeah, it's an easy push. Wow. He's
Wait
got
a
more
minute,
money.
is he behind?
Apparently.
Maybe that was before that hand. Well, it's interesting. Did he just call there or what?
That money does not play.
Okay.
So he is all in here.
Yeah.
$910.
And I think Alan might call here, getting about 4-1.
Yeah, I think you have to call this on the mere odds that Alex got overcards with diamonds, you know? If you're getting 4-1, I think you almost have to, don't you?
Let's see if Alan can suck out here. He could catch running diamonds again. Turn is a queen. He needs a 10 here and a 10 only.
10!
Or river's a 7.
And I don't say that with anything. No disrespect against Alex. He's a nice enough guy. But I'm friends with it. I'm friends with Alan. I'm going to root for him. I'm not sure if that's a bad precedent I'm setting. No, I can't hide it.
It's funny, when I came out of the booth, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday night, Robert Roeder kind of made a snide remark to me. Robert Roeder,
Yeah.
when I was walking away, because he said one of his friends was watching, and we were rooting for a king that time, when I think it was, who was it, seat 5?
Yeah.
Got the king.
Oh, man. Well, hey.
Ace-king here for Alan in the small blind in seat 9. And Alan is not going to raise it with ace-king. Here we go. Limped around 5 ways. 8-4-3 on the flop.
Well, Mo's got top pair.
Played limped in with 8-9 of diamonds on the button.
Oh, someone's telling me something.
Not necessarily a great flop for 8-9.
All right, go ahead.
Checks it. I assume Mo's going to bet here on the button.
All in?
Well, Mo X is going to bet. He's going to move all in with the open-ended straight draw.
He bought in for $16,000.
Yeah.
And he's all in for his last $1,600.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mo is instantly folding.
And I don't mind that fold with all those players yet to act. You don't know if maybe somebody is planning a check raise. If the hand is weak as 8-9, do you really want to get involved? Alex is going to throw away 3-5, and you imagine Mo X is going to take this down. I don't think Hov's going to call.
You've just been grabbing your ankles for everybody today. I don't know if you want to grab it one more time.
Yeah, and he's going to throw it away.
I invested $40, but
And again, we don't allow electronic equipment on the table, but just for any new viewers, we actually delay the show by 10 minutes. So there's no way, and if the delay is ever eaten up, which now it never is because we do 10 minutes for the big games, we will tell the table the delays get eaten up and make them act. So there's no way anyone can receive any information, real-time information, on the phone.
You are correct, sir.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was going to say, if you start judging players and you're trying to figure out if a game is good for you, should I play in this game? You've got to realize that on different nights, players play differently. Alex on a different night might be a really good player. Tonight, obviously, is not up to his A game for whatever reason.
Definitely hope you don't.
Corporation Mike right now, like I said, he's really brimming with confidence. He's really playing good. Now, Corporation Mike has a tendency to steam, though, and if you can catch him steaming, you really got a great player there because he can steam off $10,000 like it's nothing.
Jack 4-5 here, limped around.
Jack 4?
I mean, depending on when you catch Corporation Mike, he can be anywhere from a -2 to a +2.
Turns an ace. Mike turns an ace here.
I saw 2
And Barry, though, he's got a better kicker, and he's going to lead out here.
220.
He's going to make it 220.
I need chips.
Mike calls.
I just called you with King 5, Mary.
And the river here is an 8.
And Barry's 10 is going to
I think
play.
if Barry proposed a little bit of a blockish bet out here from up front. Yeah, he's going to bet 300. And I think it's going to work.
He gets a value bet out of that.
Yep.
10 plays. It's your best 5 cards in Hold'em, so both players have aces with a jack.
I want a small bet on the river.
And Barry's got the 8-10, while Mike's got aces, jack, 8-7.
I might have saved $200 by saying that. I don't think so.
Once again, we're live at the bike. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. This is 20-40 blinds. This is an unrestricted buy-in game. And we've got over $50,000 on the table now, probably about 55.
Interesting that Carl Choice emailed us and said the gambling in Japan really isn't that cool. And there isn't a lot of poker.
What?
I know, it's kind of funny because if you come to a casino, I mean, there are a lot of Asian people here at the casino, but they're actually not Japanese, though. The more and more I think
No,
about
most
it.
of them are Korean or
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yeah, yeah.
But you wonder if I know a lot of the Japanese tourists that come to Vegas, though. They love it.
Do they?
I mean, at least the ones
I
I've
mean,
met.
just for the, to take pictures and stuff, or to play and gamble?
I think to gamble, but you wonder if maybe it's because it's not cool in Japan. Maybe they come out to Vegas and because they're away from their,
I just know that they're obviously from the show and from the poker, there's a lot of Asian people here, but there aren't many Japanese. Yoshi Nakano, one of the few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he actually represented in that the best of, I guess,
Yeah.
the best player from each nation, poker player-wise, was represented. And Yoshi Nakano was the best Japan had.
Not like that's a bad thing.
No, not at all. Obviously, Yoshi Nakano is a great player, but I don't really know that many other Japanese professional players.
Mike is going to raise it up here with 8-6 off suit.
Ace 3. Check, bet, call, I raise, he re-raises. I went all in for like 4,000.
Mike he kind of toned it down the last hour or so.
I hope I pick up a hand I can still use one.
Yeah, he was quickly up 6,000. Now he's only up about 3,500, so he's giving back about $2,500. This is going to be a collection pot. Once again, $11 from each player. The winner of the pot has to pay it, and the pot has to be at least $500. And it looks like it'll probably be at least $500 because we've got a straddle in there.
First position. Flop comes 7, king, 2 hearts.
7, king, 2 hearts. You have 10 jack.
I got nothing. I got jack 10, no hearts.
Listen to what Mike's saying here.
I check, no bets out. I think 180. Call. I raise to 420. Mo re-raises to 900. Muck. I go all in for like 4,000. Thought forever. I think I talked you into it when I said if you muck.
Oh, he called?
Called with ace king.
Over, so.
Tough call. No, he had top pair.
Oh, what was the board?
King
7-7.
100.
King 7. You got a call.
He's asking me why you call. No, he's calling Barry.
Barry raised it with King 10 here. Mike called with King Jack.
You raised the
I
min.
raise and re-raise
Almost
all
the
in.
min.
And there's a
You
king.
Wow, look at there's an ace on board though
Yeah.
too.
Wow.
180. You
Now
made it
Mike does have the
400.
king of diamonds as
raised
well.
the
It's a
min.
pretty good flop for Mike, actually.
And then he raised 900.
Barry's going to bet 300 here. I don't know if Mike's going anywhere, especially
No,
with that
I
king of diamonds.
don't think he is.
He calls.
Sign of strength. I would put me on a 7 there.
And this pot is quickly $1,000.
I could have a 7 there and raise 5.
Well, it turns another ace.
No, it's just going to make...
Check. Wow. Well, Barry might be trying to induce a bluff here. The river's a deuce, but it just goes check.
Yep.
Yeah, I was down.
That's why you called. Right?
And that jack is going to play.
Oftentimes in a hand like that, obviously Mike is not betting because he's got a piece of it.
Yeah.
Feels like he might have a chance to win it in showdown. He's probably going to check and call on the bet.
It was interesting that, we just heard what Mike said.
There you go. Pay the collection.
What do you say?
Talking about that King 7-7 and he check raise Mo all in.
What do you call $100 raise?
Putt moves over here to seat 4.
I object.
Essentially, I'm paying for that collection, Mike. Just remember that.
Good to see Barry Woods finally have a nice win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I object to him paying his own collection.
But again, though, Mike is the type of player that might make that move with a 7. Remember, we just heard that story on
Definitely,
that. And Mo call with Ace King.
Well, that's the whole meta game that Mike puts out there.
Button moves again over to Dr. Allen. Dr. Allen just hasn't played much, has he, Dave, tonight, seat 4?
No, he really has not. He made one move with the pocket 8s.
Yep.
Didn't work. You wonder if he's not comfortable playing at these stakes or maybe just the constant raising from Corporation Mike. But we've seen it time and time again, you don't have to play very many hands in No Limit Hold'em to
It's
win.
funny, Surfing a Line I wrote earlier tonight on the thread that he was playing with Dr. Allen in Vegas last week, either at Caesars, Mirage, or Bellagio, and he was the table captain, teaching how the other players to play.
Dr. Allen was.
Yeah.
I like Dr. Allen's game from what I've seen. Obviously, he made an odd play with those pocket 8s before.
Ace 8-8 here on the flop. Hob is going to bet. You can't see what he has. Seat 3. He's bet 150.
Yeah, I'll put him up top.
I figured you show him ace queen.
He's going to show an ace. Ace 9, there it is. He's not a close.
I guess last pot wasn't big enough for collection pot?
Apparently not.
I'm busy here. I didn't know what's going on.
No, Mike didn't say it. Mike, the chief master.
Butt moves to
I guess
seat
we're throwing
5.
a check. It wasn't the $500 minimum. It had to
And
be.
they'd be like, not a huge pot, but can I win a collection pot and go?
Huge pots.
Gotten about
According to
an hour.
Ramstone over on 2+2, I overmodulate when I say testosterone.
You know what, I want
Yeah, I'm an overmodulator. You got me.
You're my hero.
If you have any questions for Bart or I, you can actually send a private message to us also over at our 2+2 account. We do check it on occasion. I don't want to say every day, maybe every other day or so. My screen name over on 2+2 is Friar Tuck, and Bart is
Bart Hansen.
There you go.
Four-way action here, limped around.
Fireworks start up again.
Ace 10 queen here with a couple spades.
Barry's got the ace.
He's going to bet. That's 200 here. He is going to take it down.
Yeah, one thing about Mike's game that he's really taken it to a new level is he is starting to change gears. You notice actually he's not bluffing quite as much. But his reputation kind of speaks for itself. And Mike's one of those players where he probably wouldn't have to bluff for, say, a month, and he'd still get paid off.
First stage is going to go up and down a lot.
That's for 6 weeks.
Button moves over to seat number 6. Mike in the small blind. Mo in the big blind. Allen is under the gun.
It is maybe $2, $3 up and down.
Got this email from David Kelsey saying, Barry is taking my coaching well. Who is not coaching Barry Woods? What, is he taking coaching from everybody? I mean, you really wonder. Barry, is there anybody not teaching you how to play poker? Do you ever think that maybe you're getting some conflicting information? Well, apparently Isaac is not teaching Barry. There you go. Maybe that's the problem. Flop of Ace Jack 9 there. A couple of hearts. Now, did Mo X did not raise on the button? This is not a raised pot, right? Wow, Mo X has queens on the button and did not raise. Are you kidding me? Oh, he's got queen jack. There we go, okay. Thanks a lot, Ronnie. Barry's going to bet the ace. And I don't think anybody's got anything. Apparently this is Ronnie's last day. And Mo X is going to call it the queen jack. Deuce on the turn, deuce of clubs. no help. And Barry's now picked up a flush draw, and he's going to bet again. And he's going to put a little bit of a pot controlling bet in there. He bets 300, and Moex is going to call. And Moex is in terrible shape here. He needs a jack or a queen that is not a club. Now, the queen of clubs is in his hand, and the river is an ace. And I got to tell you, if you're Barry, you probably put another $300 or $400 bet out there.
500.
Probably can't get raised unless the guy's got a full house. But if the guy's got a jack, he might call you, and he doesn't call. Wow. I mean, I guess Moex was just calling to see if he could hit 2 pair. You wonder if he hit the jack of clubs, how much money Moex would have lost. And Moex is gone. He has contributed about $15,000, and he is gone.
So I said, what the hell, I'll call. Clock came out.
He left with $500, and Barry Woods wins another pot.
Check the whole way. They both made it
And this
straight
game is really going to change, because we're going to lead, from what I saw, we're really losing a +2. We're losing a player that was probably one of the worst players in the game, and we're getting Jason Katsutani.
+2, how about a +5? You kidding me?
Diablo, yeah. We don't see cases doing anything.
And well, they just paid Barry Woods up at $1,000 there.
Yeah.
And he left with his last 500. He said, forget it, I'm out of here.
Mike's going to raise it up here with pocket, ace-10 off suit.
And that's and Dr. Allen is probably going to call this with 8s.
He's got pocket 8s from up front, out of position.
I think once Allen calls.
Well, Allen did not
Oh,
call.
Allen did not call. Okay, well, it's heads up, out of position with 8s. Well, he's going to call anyway.
Would you ever would you ever limp re-raise there? You saw it, you did it one time, didn't you?
The only well, I did it because there were other players involved.
And you pushed all in.
The problem is, though, is if Mike's got aces or kings, might he just call you?
Right.
And if he's got ace-10, he might just call you.
Well, king, deuce.
I might bet this flop, though.
Yeah.
I just don't see the value of raising here, because Mike just might smooth call you at such a wide variety of hands. You don't really get much information.
He's going to
by
bet
re-raising.
200 here, and Mike could raise this with queens, jacks. He could raise it with a king. He could raise it with a bluff.
He's got to be careful, though. Dr. Allen could be betting a king here this week. Almost asking you to make a play on it, couldn't he? And the $200 bet kind of freezes Mike, and he throws it away. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes, even if you've got queens or kings there, by re-raising, you just don't get any information.
Right.
Now, I guess if your intention, let's say you want to move all in, and your intention is just to win it pre-flop, well, that's hey, it's a different way to play it. Let's say you don't want to get outplayed.
Nice email here from Harold, appreciating the show. Again, you can email us live@thebike.com. I got to tell you, we haven't had a negative email here in a while. We do try. I try to, much like our kind of a Rush Limbaugh, who actually he will move the negative calls up to the front.
Oh yeah,
so
I
you can
love
argue with them. I'd actually try to find
Jeff Klein.
some of the negative stuff.
Jeff Klein says that I pop my peas too much.
Right.
Select your hands very well.
And accordingly, I according to somebody else, I overmodulate.
You know what's funny?
Occasionally.
You know, one of the other staples.
But I enjoy that.
I got to tell you, it's a funny thing. I don't think this hand is going to amount to anything here. Limped between Alan 5-6 and Alex with ace-5, queen 4-9 here. One of the other staples of Live at the Bike in terms of a Yule was that guy, Michael, SP Surfin' Michael. And I think either we inadvertently hurt his feelings or he really got pissed off at us. Because now he never posts, and I don't know if he watches the show anymore. Remember that time when we were talking about streaming problems?
Yeah. You know, some people
And I
obviously...
haven't seen him in the casino since then either.
You know, I can be a sarcastic asshole. Okay, I know that. And unfortunately, you know, sometimes people take it a little too personal. I don't mean anything by it. And I mean nothing personal. I really
haven't
do.
seen him in the casino since then.
Yeah. I saw him one time. And he said it wasn't a big deal, but you wonder if maybe it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I rip on Barry Woods.
Way to go. Nice
non-stop.
alienation.
Hey, you know what? Don't take it so personal. What do you want me to say? Whatever.
Mike's going to raise it up here to 240. He's got Jack 8 offsuit. Now, Alex has got 8-9 of spades. Actually, Alan's got 8-9 of spades. He's on the button. His 8 is dominated here. He's going to call. And Mike has to love it when he's heads up with Alan, in or out of position.
Of course.
2 chips more, only 2 chips.
Alan rarely takes advantage of being in position.
And we are heads up here.
I'm going to bet blind 320.
He likes
Mike
young
against
men.
Allen. And Mike bets 500 blind here. King, 5 deuce, all clubs. And he shows him Jack 8.
Well, Jack High was the best hand.
Yeah, there's Anita and putting chips in front of seat 6.
And I believe we're getting none other than KK.
Did he
Jay
without the
Katsutani.
glasses, too?
No
Deal him
fan.
in. Deal him in.
No fan, no visor.
Yeah, yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, I was going to say. It's like, did he get a haircut? No, he just doesn't have the visor on. Let's get a shot of the big brown chip, which is kind of a rarity, $500 chip there.
I like that chip, I got to tell you.
Really?
I do, I really like it. It's just a good feel.
What is it made? Is it made out of like wood or something? It's not the
No,
same
I think it's
material.
clay, isn't it? Is it clay? Clay, right?
Yeah, look at this. Mike has got pocket nines. He's raised. Look how easily Mo throws away king jack clubs. But Allen calls with ace queen suited. Now Jay, is he going to come in off with 4-5 of spades? And his spades are dominated here. And he makes the call.
Now, Jay Katsutani, depending on what kind of game you like to play in, he could be anything from a -2 to a +2 also.
Here we go. $600 three ways. Queen,
Wow.
10, queen. Allen's got ace, queen. Mike's going to bet 400. Now, the thing with Allen is, if he just calls here, Mike's going to shut down.
Well, not necessarily. If he just calls, remember, Allen will just call with a lot of
King
things.
jack, he makes the call. Yeah, but I mean, he probably has at least a 10 here, though. And
Allen might call with ace-jack. We've seen it. Well,
turns is jack. And now there's really nothing Mike can beat.
Mike
here.
is open-ended here. Allen's got to be a little careful.
And look at this. Allen bets 400. Mike quickly calls.
If an 8 or a king comes off, well,
Oh,
no.
the river's a 6. Mike checks. And this is an easy lay down here, I think, for Mike when Allen bets the river.
Extremely.
He bets 500. I mean, the pot is probably laying him 5 or 6 to 1, but there is no way.
Oh, that was right. Did I tell you?
Yeah, there it is.
I mean, how lucky can you get? You call me with like what? Queen 8? No, give me. Show me. Go watch me. Show me. Go watch.
Oh, man.
It's one thing, the way Allen plays, I mean, it's hard for him to actually win a big pot. The only time Allen usually wins a big pot is when he gets his money in with the worst of it and gets lucky.
On the flop with 3 cards? Yeah.
He's just not going to get paid off. I mean, he's just so predictable. Funniest thing is when he came in here and he actually did co-commentary with, and you were out of town. He goes, his one thing he goes, my strength is that I'm mysterious. People never know what I have. Yeah, that's right, Alan. Yeah. You're just mystery man.
Interesting, somebody else pointed out on the thread that Jay Katsutani is probably Japanese. There you go. Seat number 6.
A little late, huh?
5, 6, 9 here.
Alan's calling me with ace 10 for sure. Even though I think he had
7
Well, there it is. I mean, clearly, if Jay
Yeah.
Katsutani plays poker, all Japanese people like poker then. Right?
Dr. Allen's going to bet out here with middle pair. He's going to take it down.
very big, Jay.
And look at the size of that watermelon, Jay. You know, Mo is having it. Do people finish those watermelons? Look at that. It's a whole watermelon, man. Wow.
Well, I don't actually think it's a whole watermelon.
You're right. It's not a whole watermelon. Yeah. It's a big portion, isn't it?
It's a big piece of watermelon.
Yeah.
I didn't want to point that out. I looked at it. The watermelon's
Yeah.
actually round.
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
big ball. Okay.
I did some research on breadfruit last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Alex is going to...
So Asian porn the night before that, and last night was breadfruit, I guess. Wow, okay.
Alex raised up there with king, queen of diamonds.
Takes down, and that's Alex's first raise of the night, I think.
I don't think that, like, in this country,
Yeah.
you can just go and get breadfruit from a market. I mean, you might have to go to, like, Chinatown or some really ethnic market to buy it.
One thing great about LA, obviously any major city probably has this, but LA especially, we've got, I mean, if you go to the right place,
Yeah.
you can get authentic ethnic food. I mean, you can go
Oh,
to
yeah.
Japanese markets and Korean markets and Armenian markets.
I mean,
and
it's
really
the center
get
of so
great
many
food.
cultures. There's so many Armenian people here, Persian people, obviously Hispanics,
Korean.
Korean, Asian. Oh, it's just huge.
It was funny.
There's a
I
big
met-
Russian population where I used to live around in West Hollywood.
Oh yeah, a lot, big
Yeah,
Russian population. Obviously, a big Jewish population.
Right. That's where I live now in West LA,
There.
Beverly Hills. Pico and Robertson, huge.
Oh, yeah, huge
city.
population.
Orthodox.
And I think we're getting a raise here in the cutoff seat by Hav.
8-9 of spades.
Is he raising it or just calling a straddle?
I think
No,
it's
he's
just a call of the straddle there.
Just call the straddle. And we're going to see this three ways.
Jay completed with ace-9.
Flop two pair.
Jack 8-9. Hobbs got bottom 2. Now Jay is looks like he's gonna lead out here with ace-9. He's got the ace of clubs as
Everybody's got a little piece of it. And how do you play this if you're Hav? You probably have the best hand right now, but that's a scary board, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, clubs out there. There's a straight draw out there.
Mike easily gets away from middle pair there. I would assume that he's going to raise it up right now.
Now, oftentimes you can just call somebody like Jay because you think there's a good chance he's probably bluffing, and you can like kind of let him bluff off his chips.
Right.
But I think this board is too scary to slow play it.
And he's going to raise. Make it 600 more. And obviously Jay is aware of his surroundings and his players. He easily gets away from ace-9. I mean, if Jay had, say, king or queen, well, queen jack's a little bit different, but what if Jay had king jack there? Would he continue on with the hand?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think the only way he continues on with the hand is if he has something like, king 10 clubs. Something like that where he has a straight draw and a flush draw, and then I think he's re-raising. And he's really going to I think he re-raises all in, he puts half the test. Button moves over to Kenny Wynn's spot in seat number 5. And nobody at this table is really down that much. I mean, Alex is probably down about 3,500. I know Mo's down about 3,000. But our big loser has already left.
Big contributor,
Yeah,
right?
Mo X.
Three-way action here.
Look how politically correct you are. Big contributor. Can't call him a big loser?
Maybe I can go 0 for...
Looks like Dr. Allen's got the best hand here with ace-7.
Wayne.
He's going to bet 70.
Wayne didn't give you anything.
Talk about watering it down.
Well, Allen's going to call. He's got overcards and a gut shot to the 8. The jack or 10 would be good here. Turns a king. Now he's double gutted to the queen.
Yeah, 8, a queen. And in this case, an 8, a queen, a jack, or a 10 are all good. And you might think that they're all good. You might even raise this because, remember, Dr. Allen bet the flop.
Right.
There's no reason to think this guy's got king 7, king 9, or king 4.
He's such a great play there. If Allen actually let out in the turn, maybe representing kings up, Allen would easily fold. Dr. Allen would easily fold.
Definitely. Or
But
if he raised
instead, he
that.
just check calls here with the double gut.
Definitely. And he hits it.
And there it is. He's got the nut straight here.
And it's a big semi-bluff. I mean, you've got a lot of outs. There's no reason to think that your 10, your jack. I mean, your 10 might not be good because your opponent might be betting 10-9.
And Allen's going to bets 350, and Dr. Allen is easily going to get away from it.
And there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way Allen makes money, really, is when he hits his hands.
It doesn't get paid off, right?
Right.
I was telling you actually about a hand I was playing with Dr. Beebe, and again, we'll get to that on the video blog that we're filming hopefully tomorrow. We'll make all these mental notes of these hands.
Right.
Where he actually almost exposed his stack. We know how Dr. Beebe is so tight, Dave, but I made a raise on the turn with a big draw, open-ended and a straight draw. Beebe had slow played a set on the flop. It got checked around the turn. He just called the guy. I raised the turn, and he min-raised me from up front. So it was an easy call for me.
Yeah. Well, the pot's laying at 3-1,
Yeah.
and you're like only a 2-1 dog.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Plus you get implied odds.
Yeah, even without the implied odds, it's a call.
And we get a raise out of Mike, out of the blind. One thing about Mike's game, him raising out of the blind really gives you nothing. You don't really know much about his game right now. He could have anything right now.
Heads up here. Queen, queen, 6. Well, Barry's got diamonds here.
And Mike's got a pair. The pair doesn't really help him, though, in the sense Barry can still catch an 8, a 9, or a diamond, but hard for him to know that. How much is the bet?
It's a $400 bet.
So
and Barry calls.
This pot is quickly, what, $1,200.
Turns a deuce. Mike is still good here with the pair of 6s, and he's going to lead out again.
Well, no reason for him not to think that he has the best hand. He knows Barry plays it pretty fast. Barry probably would have raised if he had a queen. It's only a 2-1 dog here, and the bet is what, 600?
It's actually an $800 bet here.
800. So the pot's 2,000, 1,200, 800 to call.
Barry's going to get away from it.
Yeah, and I think it's a good laydown.
And And I think Mike said he had ace-8. He lies to Barry, and the river would have been a diamond. It would have been a king.
Yeah, king of diamonds.
And Barry lies back to Mike and says he had king-9 of diamonds. They're a bunch of liars.
That's right. I can't call somebody the big loser, but you can call them liars, huh? Okay.
And Hob and Mike fluffers, right? King-Queen suited here for Mo in seat 8.
Now look at this post from Sir Felix Cat. He said, I've only watched the last month or so, but I'm very impressed on how much Barry's game has improved, even over this short amount of time. Props to Barry.
Limped around here.
Mo does not raise out of the blind this time with king-queen suited.
5-way action. Well, 9 deuce here. Dr. Allen's got the best hand. So Alex going to lead out here with 8s. He is. Now, if Alex is the type of player that might make that bet with a deuce or with a 9, do you really want to get involved here with 9-10?
Yeah, you might, and Dr. Allen doesn't want to. Can't blame him. And Alex really hasn't bet that many. He's been checking and calling most of the night.
You know, one of the other interesting things that Gabe Taylor talked about when I listened to the circuit was that if you talk to most of the pros that have been doing this for a long time, a solid, kind of platform to become a pro is to have an overall tight playing style. I mean, people might say, well, that's a no-brainer. But, I think that if you get back to basics, I definitely think it's, the best way to play. You can make yourself play like a corporation, Mike Barry Laggy, but you understand that you're going to have a bigger bankroll for that. You're going to have to make some adjustments. $140 raise here by Barry. Do you not agree with that? Kind of.
No, I mean, I do. It depends. I mean, I think you really got to adjust the games you're playing in. And the games, most of the games that Corporation Mike plays in, he can run over.
Yeah.
And he does. Now, the only thing with Corporation Mike is I don't know if he would adjust to. I mean, if he was in a game with, say, a Stan Goldstein and a Gabe Thaler and a, players like that, of that ilk, you wonder if these guys would just eat Mike up alive. You wonder if they just catch on to him and really kill him, because obviously Mike is putting his money in with the worst of it 9 out of 10 times. But having said that, I mean, we've seen players play that aggressive style.
He's on the morphine drip, man. That guy, his motor's always on.
And it works for them throughout their entire careers. I mean, Doyle Brunson plays that style.
Limped around here, it looked like. Oh, no, excuse me, there was a little raise there. Barry's got ace-jack of spades. He's got the nut flush draw.
Actually, I don't think there was a raise, was there? No, it wasn't around. Yeah,
okay.
$40 each.
Barry's going to bet 220 here. Now, Alex has got a dry-ass flush draw from up front. 7 deuce of spades.
And Alex can get in real trouble here. We talk about reverse implied odds. If Alex calls and a spade comes off, you wonder how much money he'll lose. Now, I think this is an easy laydown for Alex. I mean, you've got a dry flush draw with a paired board.
Dry ass flush draw.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's out. I mean, you got to look at all this. You're out of position. The board is paired, and you have a 7 high flush draw. Yeah, and he's going to throw it away. Nice laydown by Alex. It really is.
But moves over to Alex. Got an email here from Big Daddy from Cincinnati. He says, why does the dealer deal with some empty seats when a player's away? In Vegas, the seat is skipped in the deal. Well, we're playing with a jackpot. No, we're playing with a jackpot in this game. In all the Hold'em games here, we do that. So, oftentimes a player will say, if they say deal me in, they will deal the player in.
Yeah, they get dealt one spot.
Yeah.
Oftentimes a player will just tell them, deal me in, I'm walking over here for a second. They don't know when they'll come back. Mo has really toned it down now, huh?
Yeah.
After being real aggressive early on.
5-way action here, limped around 8-4-7. Couple diamonds.
Alex with second pair. He's got the best hand, ace-7. On the button. If it checks to him, you think he'll... Now, would you ever raise Mike here on the button?
He is just going to call. Mike is just betting with a gut shot. Mike says, I have king-7 of spades.
That's pretty close.
7 good right now?
You gotta love it if he's telling the truth, huh?
And look at this, 7 on the turn. And Mike bets again. He bets 400. And do you just let Mike bluffing at you, or do you have to raise this with straight and flush draws?
I probably don't. But I probably don't raise specifically against Mike.
Yeah, he calls. And the river's an ace, and Alex fills up. And this pot is about $1,500. Mike checks. And there it is.
And Mike has correctly said, he goes, did he flop a straight? Not quite,
Right.
but he did have a big hand. Email here from Rick, a.k.a. the Sleeping Giant. Okay, here's a negative email. Bart, you slouch in your chair.
When I met you a few weeks ago, I was shocked how tall you are. In fact, I thought Dave was much taller than you. Well, it's not that I slouch in my chair. I actually have, I think, an inch or two on you. You have a higher chair. You don't like this. If you can flip back here, this is a chair. You want to switch chairs with me?
No.
I mean, this thing puts me down because it scooches down. But if we both stand up, I think I'm actually got a couple inches on
What are you
Dave.
talking about?
Yeah, right. Dave, we had 2 chairs like this in here, and he didn't want to sit in the same chair.
Well,
as me.
one chair is very comfortable. The chair you sit in is very comfortable.
Right.
I don't like to be that comfortable.
Okay. Yeah.
If I get really comfortable, I get sleepy. I fall asleep. Doesn't make for a good show.
King 10-5 here. Hava's going to come out and bluff at it here. Going to pick his little spot here against Dr. Allen and Barry. And he takes it down.
And Hava he'll make maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 moves a night. Just kind of win himself the blinds, make sure he doesn't lose too much money.
Another email here from that guy in Cincinnati. He says, show newbie, follow up, do the players receive any compensation for allowing the world to see how well or poorly they play? Well, I think that the compensation they get is more kind of like a free 3-hour analysis. Now, they can take our advice, take it or leave it. But
Yeah, but even more than that, the value of it is they can go back and watch themselves, and even if they don't like what we say, they can mute us, and they can analyze their own play.
yeah.
I mean, I think that is priceless. I mean, how many of you at home would love to be able to go back and watch how you play?
Yeah. See, look at this email here. I haven't even read it here, but Dave asked us last night, people that don't want to have their email read, put in the subject, don't read on the air. And there's an email here from Jared Pondelik. He says, don't read on the air. I haven't read it. I will read it, but I won't read it on the air.
Unless
Thank
it's
you,
really
Jared.
good. Unless it's really juicy stuff, right?
Have you been to Cincinnati before?
Yes, I have.
Doesn't sound like it was a good experience.
I was
Four-way
fine. I
action
was like
here.
14 years old.
Jack 3-7 here, and Alex has flopped the queen-eye flush, and Katsutani here, he's got ace-jack. He's going to lead out.
And if Alex plays it fast, he might actually get the most money possible from Jay. We'll see.
He's got the third nut flush draw. I mean, he's definitely a king and an ace there. And what is he going to do? And he's usually good about raising his big hands. I've played with him.
You know, obviously, there are two different
he's
ways.
just gonna call.
There are different ways to play this hand.
I just look
Against Jay, well, the only thing is against Jay, you don't know what Jay has. Jay could have nothing.
Turns a 6.
I mean, Jay could be betting a 3 right now.
And look at this. He's going to
And-
bet 700. I just think
See,
that kind of lets Jay off a little bit off the hook now because you're going to raise him, I think. And Jay's just going to easily get away from it.
Really? What?
Wow.
Is there any way you might just call this again, and then if a non-club comes in the river, Jay might check it to you or bet again?
Maybe.
I mean, obviously we see Jay's cards, but wouldn't you say there's a 50% chance here that Jay has nothing at all? We know Jay so well. Jay could have nothing.
Well,
here.
Jay would also probably bet out with the nut clubs or a higher flush as well. And I'm not saying, I mean, you're probably going to go broke there. And he's just going to call. Did he just call here again? And this pot is about $2,400 as we go to the river. The river's 10. Let's see
And
how
you know
this one
what?
plays out.
If Jay checks it to him, Alex will obviously going to bet it,
Yeah.
and Jay might have to pay him off, thinking, is this guy betting? Is he trying to bluff me with, say, the ace of clubs?
He checks. And, you know, you correctly kind of surmise this hand. You've got to make it maybe look like you're going to try to bluff off with clubs here.
Well, that's the whole point.
It's about a $2,400 pot.
I mean, is there any way, let me ask, I'll give you another
Or
hand.
about a $2,000 pot.
What happens if Alex had, say, king jack with the king of clubs, queen jack with the queen of clubs?
Yeah, but would he really bet the river here, though?
No, probably not. Well,
Yeah.
but would he bet, say,
He's
he had-
going to overbet it. He's going to bet $3,000. $3,000 into a $2,000 pot. And Jay said you flopped it? And Jay quickly gets away from it. Not
There you
even
go.
a second thought. I mean, Alex really tried to overbet there. I don't know if he would really bet that much on missed clubs, though.
Yeah,
You
you
never
wonder.
know.
You wonder if he willing? Is he the type of player that's willing to risk that much money?
Yeah.
On a bluff.
And Jay said, what, did you flop the nut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you wonder if Alex bets say 1,200, does Jay pay him off? I don't know.
Email here from Mo. He says, one thing I've noticed is that Dave's chip shuffling is a little awkward. It's very unsmooth and unpro-like.
I'm not even on the table when I'm getting that. He says, I don't mean anything by it. That's okay, Mo. I'm only kidding with you. Like I said, I don't take anything personal, and anything I say, don't take it personal back. I've got pretty thick skin. And please, I've got a Jewish New York mother. I mean, you grow up with something like that, you get tough skin.
Barry has raced up here with ace, king of diamonds. Alex limped in with fours. Now, both of these guys are pretty deep. See if Alex is going to make this call. You know, sometimes they say about the 10 times equation rule. And against Barry, I think I might call here because it is Barry.
This is a hand you
pocket
can
here.
play out of
Yeah.
position. If you hit it, you're in there. If you don't hit it, you throw it away.
Jack 9-6 here.
Now, obviously, he's going to get outplayed here probably because he's probably going to check and fold and Barry
Yeah.
bets it. I mean, I think he has to check and fold, doesn't he?
He's going to bet 450, Barry is.
Power of position, obviously. And you're calling there just to hit your set. If that
Right.
flop had come out, say Jack 6-4, you know,
Well, in
you
this,
might win a big pot. Who knows?
well, in this case, he wouldn't have.
right.
though,
But I mean,
because,
if
again-
Barry's got kings or aces, you're going to win a huge pot.
So, yeah, actually, Jared emailed us earlier. He said, I was curious how you deal with an average player raising pre-flop. And if you have ace, ace, or king, king in late position. I normally re-raise. There's more than one person in the pot. But lately I've been thinking that if it's heads up, then you're better off just calling the position, catching a bluff on the flop. I feel you give away so much information by re-raising. How do you play it? Well, I agree with you, and that's why we sometimes point out against a good player, when you have jacks or queens and you bet a flop that's raggy and you receive heat, not only are you behind a set or two pair, but maybe possibly a higher smooth call to overpair, right?
Definitely. That's a play that you can definitely use. I mean, hey, if I'm in position and I've got aces or kings, and a guy has re-raised and it's already heads up, it's kind of a coin flip. Sometimes I'll re-raise him, sometimes I won't.
Queen 10-7 here.
Allen did not raise out of the under the gun there with ace king. Kind of limped in. He's missed it here, and is he going to call? He loves to call this though.
Peter, you gotta wait till Mike's in the hand.
Well, he's got gut shot, overcards. Jay's bet with the 7. It's the best hand, Dave. I think Jay loves to play with Allen in position just like Mike does.
And jackpot.
Here we go. Turns a 4. You wonder what Jay thinks Allen has. I would think that I was probably behind here. Maybe Allen's calling with a 10 or a
With a
queen
10,
here.
right? Well,
Yeah.
then you got to fire again because
Yeah.
you probably won't. You don't put him on a big queen because he usually bets his big queens there.
And the only way that we're going to know this is if Allen calls here and the river is like a deuce. If Jay fires again, obviously he doesn't think he has the best hand, but Allen's not going to continue on here.
Got an email here from Charles King. He says, hey guys, I have a serious question. Whenever I play poker and I get a good hand, I get a huge erection. What should I do? Well, what I would do is wear baggy pants.
Oh, I love it.
Unless, of course, you got a small dick. Then you don't have to worry about it. No, nothing wrong with that, man.
There's a long...
Ronnie got all offended. I mean, I wasn't talking... Was that your email, Ronnie?
A long bloated email here by EG, negative email, saying that Bart smells... Bart is ugly, Tuckman smells like a badger. And the point is, I'm getting to the end of the email. The only good commentary I've ever heard on the show was Isaac. So there you go. Go Ducks. Chris and... No, that's not...
Go Ducks.
That wasn't Chris C. Sorry.
Which Ducks? The Mighty Ducks?
Yeah, it was that guy.
They're down 3-0.
that-
It's a best of 7. They're down 3-0. I think it's time to move on.
Jay made it 160 with King 10.
He's flopped two
And
pair.
Mike called with Ace 9. He's got top 2, and I'm sure he's going to bet here.
And these guys have a long history. Mike and Jay, you can obviously by their playing styles, you imagine they are normally colliding in pots.
Let's go bowling. $1,000 a string, Tuckman. You spot me 20 pins. And is Mike going to call here with ace-9? Holy cow, look at that. And Jay's in great shape here.
He is.
Well, the turn's a 6. Now, if Mike had something like 7-9, he would have had a straight. And Jay checks.
He's inducing the bluff.
Mike has picked up a gut shot draw here.
Yep, a 7 would give him the win.
This pot is about $900.
Did Jay check?
He checked the turn. And Mike checked right behind him. And the river here is a jack.
I think is Jay going to check it over? No, he's going to bet. Now, Jay would bet Miss Diamonds. He also would bet, well, I'm trying to think what else he would have. Jack 9 got there. He probably wouldn't have to bet Jack 9.
Mike said if a deuce came on the river, I could call you.
And Mike actually thinks he has the best hand. He probably would call, but deuce would fall. He thinks maybe the Jack has gotten there. You got to start putting your opponent on draws. And okay, maybe he can beat Diamonds, but he couldn't beat a Jack. He can't beat Jack 9. Can't beat Queen Jack now.
The pot is about 1,900, 900 for Mike to call. He's getting a little over 2 to 1, and he's still thinking about calling here.
He really is. Great read by Corporation Mike here, huh?
Well, he's going to lay it down.
And sometimes this is Mike's problem. I will say, when he starts getting confident, I mean overconfident, he gets into a point where he just thinks that he thinks his reads are right on. He thinks he cannot make a mistake. And oftentimes when you think that way, that's exactly when you do make a mistake.
Well, he's got to pay his.
Anybody
from,
I was going to say, anybody familiar with my blog, more often than not, anytime that I'll write in there, I go, hey man, I've been running so good, I can't lose. The next blog is, what the hell, why did I say that? I just lost, something like that.
Email here from Mickey Nygaard. Says, hi guys, great show as always. A friend of mine's going to LA in a couple weeks. Is it difficult to get in the live game? Does he have to sign up weeks in advance? Well, no. First of all, it depends on the game.
Yeah.
But the smaller games that we do, you can always call the bike, ask for the Poker Plaza, and you can actually speak with me. I'm here at 1:30 usually, and I'll put you all up on the board. Now, in the bigger games on Wednesdays and Fridays, we try to let Mo. Mo is actually the guy who does that process.
Right.
But or you can just come down here and put your name on the board.
But for sure, let us know what game he's interested in playing and what date, and we'll do our best to put him on the board. We do try to get tourists and people that are in town just for a few days on the show if they want to be on the show.
Tourists or lags from Amarillo, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is that, a call?
99. Hold on, let me get all this.
You wonder if is Jay going to be kind of what kind of game he's going to play with Corporation Mike to his left all day.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I don't think Jay's the type of guy like that limp re-raises. I don't know if I've ever seen him do that a whole lot, Dave.
No, rarely.
Yeah. He'd rather just take control of the pot. 7-5-5 here.
He's another guy where he's really fearless.
Yeah. Well, Mike is gonna take a shot at it. He's in position. Gets 240. Now Alex here. It's a paired board. Would you consider this a dry? He's got the nut flush draw, so it's not necessarily obviously a dry flush draw. He's got at least one over card, and he has the best hand right now. And there's the nut flush. Now if he checks it, I assume Mike. Well, is Mike gonna check behind here? Nope. He's gonna bet.
600.
He's gonna bet 600, and Alex is just gonna call. Wow, just calling here. A little hard to slow play out of position. And the river now is a 9.
Yeah, I got to tell you, if I'm Alex there, I'd probably bet right into Mike.
On the turn?
I probably bet right into Mike.
Yeah.
And I hope that he raises me. I hope he thinks that I'm full of it and he raises me.
Because now he's going to bet the river 1,200 here. I mean, Mike was bluffing the whole way.
And if I'm going to play it that way, I'm going to check the river also.
If you just make a hand every time, and you just call us and then fire the river, or you actually have a hand, because you can't have a hand every time.
I'm not sure what Mike's paying attention to. The first hour and a half of the show, Alex didn't win a pot.
Yeah, I don't really know what Mike is referring to.
Yeah, I mean, what, he's won like 3 hands? The guy's not, he's not allowed to win a couple of hands in a row? God forbid if somebody wins a hand in a row and it's not Mike.
I don't know, but you've done this about 3 times.
3 times.
What
But I haven't seen you make it. Until you show me a bluff, I can't.
Oh, Alex actually told Jay that he had a queen eye flush. And then he just showed the nut flush.
And Mike said, he goes, until you show me a bluff, I'm not going to, I can't pay you off.
Stealing Ellen's thunder.
And I got to tell you, if I'm going to play that hand that way, would you check to Mike with the nuts there on the river?
I'm sorry, I was right.
I was going to say, if you play it that way, where you check call the turn, would you just check it to Mike on the river? You know he doesn't
I mean,
have
I hate doing that.
So do
You know,
I, but
hate
against
doing
Mike.
that.
I don't do it against somebody else, but against Mike, you go, you know what? If he has nothing or if he missed his draw, he might take a shot at it.
Well, now
And if he takes a shot at it, it'll be a $1,000 shot.
I'll throw a wild question out at you.
Go ahead.
If you check to him on a paired board with a nut flush, is it an easy all-the-time check raise on the river, or would you ever just call?
You might just call.
Yeah.
140.
Depends how deep you are.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Because obviously if he has a full house, he's going to re-raise you all in,
Right.
and you almost have to call.
Right. But at the same time, you can check raise him there, and he probably will pay you off with trips, though. I don't know if Mike is good enough to lay that down. So Barry's got ace-king, and Jay's got ace-10 here. And the flop comes deuce 5-3 with a couple diamonds. Check, check. Barry's got the nut diamond draw here. Turns a 7.
Barry's in firm control and firm hand of this. I can't speak. Say that for me. Thank you, Ray.
Barry's going to bet 240. I don't know if Barry was trying to set up a check raise on the flop, Dave. Jay is not going to take a shot at it. Okay, Brian from Brooklyn has emailed us. He did PM me, PM you, and I did not get back to him. I apologize. PM me, man. I'll try to get to your PM.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we can read the email here.
Go ahead. Bart, how come you're dogging me, dude? I've sent you a few emails at PM, man, and I've gotten no response from you, man.
I
took you out to dinner. I wined and dined you. What, that's worth nothing?
I just started.
I spent the night with you, damn it. Doesn't that mean anything to you?
I won't read the email. This is
Christ
fine.
almighty, Bart. I know I'm not Asian, but I thought we had something going.
I
Brian
just
from
started
Brooklyn.
playing Heads Up Tourneys on Party. At one point last night, I won 8 in a row. What percentage should I win to be a successful Heads Up player? Could I make a living off of it? I'll get to this in a second. That's kind of, boy, sometimes I want. I mean, it seems like a nice guy, but
Playing the opposite.
how are we supposed to know the answer to that question? We'll get to this in a second here. Mo is the raiser with king queen. Alex called with king 6. Mike is in there with the suited connector. And Mike flops the flush, and Mo's got the second nut flush. And Mike's going to bet right into it. He flopped the flush. He bets 200, and Mo
I tried to put 2, and then I saw
is going to call.
so I pulled one back.
Mike has a flop flush, and he bets it.
And he double checks it.
Turns a 4.
And you might bet this, you're actually hoping that maybe Mo's got a 5.
Oh, Mo is the pre-flop raiser, Dave.
Oh, well, right, he
Yeah.
was.
And Mo's going to bet, and Mike's going to bet again. 600, and Mo is going to call again. What about a 5 here on the river? Oh, the river's an ace, and now I think you bet
I got
even
to,
more.
if you're Mike, you're going to really overbet this, and you hope that he's got the ace. You're hoping he's got ace king, ace queen, ace jack, something like that.
What I was going to say, Dave, is
What?
happens if a 5 comes there to complete a wheel on board? Do you push in?
Maybe.
An offsuit
Thinking
5?
Mo calls just to chop it?
I've seen him do it before.
Maybe.
But anyways, get to that question. I mean, what percentage should I win to be a successful heads-up player? I have to be honest with you, I'm not that experienced.
I think
in
you
terms
need
of
to win every
variance.
one.
Heads up.
Every single one. I think the one time you second you lose one, forget it.
I mean, 8 in a row is a good little streak.
Of course it is, but
Yeah.
I mean, and we don't mean any disrespect by this, Brian from Brooklyn. But you've got to realize we have no idea who are you playing against. Did you get lucky? Are you really good?
Right.
How much money are you playing for? Without knowing all the specifics of your situation, we don't know. Try playing for, say, maybe 6 months. See how much money you make. And if it's enough to support you, yourself, then, hey, you could probably be a pro.
Mo had king 10 of spades here, and Alex is called with ace jack of hearts. Now, Mo was the pre-flop raiser. He's pretty good about a continuation bet, but Alex has flopped a big hand here.
If you're Alex here, would you ever raise this up?
Well, he's
Well,
just going to call. Mo might just check fold here on the turn.
Yeah, he might.
Well, now he picks up a spade draw. And he's going to bet 2,000 now.
Wow.
And now, Alex has played it a little bit defensively. He's going to be put in a tough spot. I mean, you almost got to think that Mo has an overpair here. I would think that Mo had an overpair 95% of the time here, the way this is played out.
It's funny. This is how a similar hand I played against Mo, and I actually put Mo on like he picked up a draw.
Yeah.
I thought he was trying to buy the pot for me, and it was a hand that was jack high. I had king jack, and he had ace jack, but I really thought he was trying to buy it, and I ended up calling him, and he was all in for like $2,000.
$2,000.
But it was a play very similar to this, and it's one of the reasons why I paid Mo off is because he does switch up his game sometimes.
And at this point, I think if you're Mo, you probably think that maybe Alex has like pocket nines, pocket tens, something like that, or I guess maybe the nut flush draw.
Either way, I think there's only really two plays for Alex here. I mean, I think, well, man, Mo has pot committed himself.
Yeah,
he really has. So there's no point in moving all in, because if you move all in, you know Mo is going to call you with what you think is probably the better hand. In this case, obviously, Mo is in terrible shape. He needs a spade or a king or a 10 that is not a heart.
And I think, like you said, Mo's committed himself. I think it's actually not that difficult of a fold right now.
I don't think you can call this. I mean, Alex put himself in a spot by just calling the flop, where he's put himself in a spot where he has no idea where he's at.
And he does fold.
Yeah.
Oh, he has not folded. Oh, he still has the cards in his left hand there.
And he told him he has a big hand.
What's the lady bringing, Mike?
Scallops and ahi. Yard house.
Sorry, Ronnie, did I take you out there?
We thought he had folded.
Well, it looked like he played like kind of like an illusionist trick. I couldn't see his cards anymore. I just don't see how you can call here. I really don't.
I don't either. I mean, what are you going to call this and then fold when Mo moves all in on the river?
Well, I think what he might be trying to figure out is pot odds here. If he could get the rest of Mo's chips here, and he figures his ace is good, he's got 13 outs with one card to come. That's about one chance in a 3.5, so he needs 2.5 to 1. But he's not getting it, because Mo has bet so much here on the turn. I think... Yeah.
Put the river there.
And the river is a 6 of hearts.
River comes, I beat you.
Nope. The river is the 6 of hearts. And Alex shows it, and he sees it. Oh, no. And that might put him more on tilt there, Dave.
Yeah, that might set him on tilt.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
And I really think if he moves all in there, obviously Mo is going to call him. And Alex is going to pretty much double up because Mo's got a lot of money.
You hit it, huh? You haven't missed a flush draw yet, man. And hard hit?
Anyway, it's funny. We get a lot of emails where people are asking us, oh, can I be a pro? What kind of bankroll do I need to be a pro? Am I good enough to be a pro? And obviously, everybody's situation is always different. And without knowing somebody's specific situation, it's almost impossible for us to give you the advice. You look at Bart and I, even in our own situations, we're different in the sense that, I'm married. I have a mortgage. Bart is a single guy.
Not many expenses.
Exactly.
Online seduction material, books, DVDs, and my car. Those are pretty much my two expenses. If anyone ever reads some of my posts over in OOT, I'll be...
What is OOT?
Other topics.
Oh, and 2+2.
Yeah. Button moves over here to seat 4. Yeah, paddle tennis is another expense. Dr. Allen has the button. Been pretty quiet here tonight.
Hey, get him the same thing, dude. He'll like it. Oh, you like scallops?
No.
How about, you just wanted sushi. What the fuck are you talking about?
Sushi is different than fish.
No, it's very the same.
Yeah, I know. No, some kind of fish.
Sushi is seafood. Check. It is seafood, right?
Some kind of fish and sushi.
Jay and Mike are heads up.
Okay, but you'll like ahi. It's seared ahi. It's good. It's like sashimi.
I love seared ahi, Dave. Medium rare.
Really, Mo, you like
I actually
Kind
had.
of raw in the middle, but
I actually
seared
made
on the
myself a seared albacore sandwich today.
You would like it a lot.
Mike, Jay bets here, and Mike calls with the 8. So Jay's bluffing, but Mike's got the best hand here with a pair of 8s. Let's see what Jay's going to do here on the river. The river's a 5. Jay checks, Mike checks behind him.
I know.
I'm going nuts, man.
Yeah, that's Sushi Bar. Everyone knows they're actually doing a renovation. The grill, which is next door, they're changing that to Yoshi's Sushi Room.
I've been talking about this since I've been here 2.5 years ago. I was
Yeah.
like, how does this place not have a sushi restaurant?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Send it.
I'm going to eat sushi 3 or 4 days a week here. Not even a question. But I had a delicious seared albacore. I went to the gym today, went over to Whole Foods, picked myself up about a half a pound of albacore, seared it real, put it on a bun with some.
You know, tuna is like one of those, like a fish where you grill it like on super, super high heat for only a couple minutes, right?
Yeah.
Because you're only really cooking the outside.
Super heat, you just boom, boom, flip it over,
Yeah.
20 seconds on one side, 20
Yeah.
seconds,
In case I win a big pot.
then you slice it up. Oh, it's perfect. A little pepper, a little salt, and you put it on a bun with some, some condiments. I tell you.
Condiments, huh? Yeah, these doesn't really need condiments. Are you the type of guy that puts like A1 sauce like on a nice like fillet or like a $150 Kobe
No,
steak?
I don't really like A1 sauce, but
God, these
an
guys.
albacore, I
These
think.
steakhouses.
An
You're
albacore,
fucking
I think
kidding
you
me.
can put like a nice, you get some sort of like a, almost like a Russian dressing type, with a little spice in it. Actually, I have that
Russian
Asian-
dressing is just like Thousand Island, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You get like a little Russian dressing, and then you make it a little spicy with it. You know that like Asian red spicy sauce? Put a couple of drops in there.
Yeah, post
Killer,
here
man.
on 2+2 by Arvin saying, Dave and Bart, I went broke similarly to how Mo X put his most of his chips in with pocket queens. I had no pair and was check raised all in by a set of deuces. It was a $200 lesson I'll never forget. Can you please give me some input or signs of making a laydown such as this? Well, from what you said there, Arvin, I assume that you're playing in a pretty restricted buy-in no limit. I mean, I don't really have a problem with going $200 broke in a 3-5 no limit game because guys might do that with top pair on a ragged board or like pocket 9s, pocket 10s,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. You got to realize also if the board is like 8-6 deuce,
Yeah.
and you got queens, couldn't this guy have, like you said, 9s, 10s,
Yeah,
jacks?
yeah. In a restricted game, I just. Now, Allen raised it with 8s. Mike called with 7-4. Dr. Allen's going to make a $200 continuation bet.
Oftentimes after you raise and then you put your continuation bet in there at the queens, and the guy check raises you, oftentimes you're getting 3 or 4 to 1 on your money,
Yeah.
and you're not going to lose any more. You almost have to call.
The reason why that, and I don't know, Arvin, I haven't seen you post it. I don't know if you saw at the beginning of the show. The reason why that hand was absolutely horrific was that Mo X mini raised to 100 out of the small blind with queens against 2 deep players, and he allowed himself to get stacked off
Right.
on a ragged board with just like queens.
And the flop and the betting on the flop actually went bet by Mo X, raised by
Yeah.
Barry, re-raised by Mo X, all in by Barry.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Queens are no good here, buddy. You know what's amazing? I mean, we've only got about, I think, another hand left. And it's amazing how fast a night like this goes, especially when you compare it to a night like last night.
5-way action. After this hand, we're going to do the final chip count of the night. Jack 3-9 here with a couple hearts. Mo's got a king high flush draw here, Dave. And it gets checked around. Turn is at 10. Now Mo's got a straight draw as well. Is he
Yeah, but
gonna
Allen's
lead
made the straight.
That's a turn because he's never ever bet.
Allen has made a straight. He's kind of got a sucker straight, but in this case, it is the nuts.
Ever. Heads up.
Mo can catch a queen or a heart to win this. And he's going to call. And the pot is about, I want to say, what, $800?
Yeah.
4 cards, man. Flush draw.
5 of spades in the river is not going to change anything, and you think Allen's going to put a little value bet in here.
7-7 king.
And he does. He puts in a $400 bet, and Mo quickly lays it
I
down.
think maybe one of the best cards there for Mo that could hit, if he hit a queen. I think Allen might pay him off with an 8. Let's take a look at looks like the last chip count of the night coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Might pay him
no
off
problem.
there with an 8.
He might have paid him off with a heart anyway.
What do you do?
So 60,000 on the table. Look at Barry with 18,000.
Yeah, he's really had a nice night.
King 7-7.
Let's take a look at the differences here. See who the big winner is.
Barry up 13.
All in that one hand, Dave.
Hey, you know what? Alex has made a nice comeback. You know, as bad as Alex was playing the first hour of the show, he's really turned his game around, and now he's only down $500. Mo's still a big loser, down $4,500. And our biggest loser of the night, Mo X, is actually gone. He lost, I want to say, $15,500 tonight.
You think you can get him off it?
Unbelievable.
Hey.
40.
7474, queen deuce, queen deuce.
240. Can I have my $40 back in?
Give me aces next hand. Let's do the repeat again.
Kenny Wynn is raised here with King Queen suited.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize Kenny Wynn was there anymore.
And this next hand's going to be the last hand. I think that one was going to be the last hand. But we know our one-time no-flop rule, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure you catch us tomorrow night. We're going to have a no-limit hold'em game of some sort. It could be a $500 game. Could be a 3-to-5 game. Could even be a $200 game. We'll see.
Yeah, tomorrow night, it could be any of those.
We're going to see what we got.
Big difference.
Catch it at 7 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow night.
How early do you allow for you to sign up for a seat on Monday or Tuesday? Well, you can come in and, like I said, or you can call in that day in the morning.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, he's king though. I mean, you gotta call.
Alan's got the button.
Hey, plus, you didn't tell him also, Jake.
And Mike's going to raise it up. He makes it 150 to go. And Barry's got Queen Jack. He's got Mike dominated, but do you really want to play this out of position?
And again, he limped in under
No,
the
no,
gun.
he didn't let this. Alan's on the button. He's the big blind.
Oh, okay. And Barry's going to call him. We're going to see a flop here.
I love that.
Now, if a jack were to come off,
These are the warmest chips.
a couple of jacks or something like that, Barry would be in great shape.
How about rags?
But it's rags, and this is where it's a problem. Now, you're going to check it, and obviously Mike's going to bet it, and you really have to throw it away.
That's going to do it for us, Dave. Another night down.
Yeah, great night of poker here.
Anals alive at the bike. Anals alive at the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little talk about seared tuna. Himani.
I love it, man.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with a $500, 5-10 no limit game, and then we'll be back on Friday for a 10-20 no limit. Hope everybody enjoyed it. For everybody here in the booth, and for Dave Tuckman, I'm Bart Hansen. Good night, everybody, from Live at the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.